And that's what's come crashing in on us here. Not that Charlie Kirk was a preacher in a pulpit somewhere, but that in large part, it's those issues in those areas that have directly confronted biblical Christianity that he spoke to in the public square. Issues like biblical manhood and womanhood, marriage, human sexuality. These same issues that biblically we stand 10 toes down on. These are the ones. And by the way, here's what you need to understand. The game has changed.
About to take Tylenol for my headache while pregnant because I don't take my medical advice from a man who doesn't have a degree in science, healthcare, or medicine, and who had a parasitic brain infection and was addicted to heroin for 14 years. Yeah, I'll trust my doctors who have their degree.
Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. You never know what's going to happen around here. You never know what's going to go on. And literally, I'm getting ready to do my big thing, you know, like I do. Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. And all of a sudden, we hear this big like knock, 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 like instantly.
Probably
is it a dog? Sometimes maybe like scratching an ear, and then it just kind of
Toby does that. Yeah.
Toby definitely does that. Okay, so it's Friday, and we are extremely late, but we've had a lot of things going on. You know what I'm saying? You found my wallet.
Praise the Lord. God did.
They may not have known if they were not tuning into the Revolutionary Revivalist prayer request last night or my personal friend on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I lost a wallet this week, and I'm telling you, wherever it was is not where it was found. Now, we have a working theory about how it got to where it was, the place in the middle of the van, in the middle of like everything, where we had combed. The back seats were all taken out. It was completely empty. There's no way it could have gotten there. The theory is that the dog cargo type cover blanket thing that we have, that it was somehow balled up in there, even though I had checked it. I didn't like open it wide, but I had checked it, that the whole time we're looking for it. And all of us that have touched it somehow missed that. And then when you went to hang it up, you didn't even hear it fall. You didn't hear it there, but it ended up there somehow. So praise the Lord. I don't have to get a brand new driver's license. So that's a big deal. Yes. Praise the Lord. I was more worried about the inconvenience of having to get new credit card numbers, you know, like debit cards and things like that. But my best friend was not at all worried about that inconvenience for me. She was more worried about my driver's license being stolen and identity theft. Like, she was terrified about that for me. So thank you, Catherine, for loving me. We've had so much going on. For those of you that have not tuned into the shows that we did this week, we did a Healing for the Fractured Soul and a Revelation Red Pill this week because we've been gone. And we thought, man, got to go back, got to do the shows for the peeps. We've missed you guys. And I think it was Tuesday, I went into this big, long explanation about what happened to us this week. I'm not going to tell you what that was. You're just going to have to go back to the Healing for the Fractured Soul and watch it yourself. However, breaking news, like 2-day-old news, 1-day-old news. What's the biggest news?
We
bought a new to us car
of a
new to us Toyota Highlander.
Yes.
Now we're excited about this. I want y'all to know how much we roll in the dough around here. Because I don't know how much y'all know. We just rolling in it. We're just raking it in. Okay. We are so excited about this 2011 Toyota Highlander. It's so nice. Should we tell them how much we paid for it? Or should we not? Don't tell them.
I don't think you should.
It's not appropriate.
It wasn't a lot of money. Let's put it that
We're
way.
rolling in the dough.
It was.
We're rolling in the dough.
But the Lord allowed us to get the best car we could for our budget. It has, I will tell you, it has 256,000 miles on it.
See, I think that's more rude than telling how much we paid for it. That's like telling someone's age. Like highway miles. Those are highway miles, mostly garage kept, one car owner. They kept up on all the maintenance. Those are big. Now, Leah, for those people that don't know, these specific vehicles are one of the #1 top rated don't die cars.
That's what we're hoping.
That's a category. Don't die cars. The cars that don't die. People be getting like 350 out of them. You know,
we're hoping
the mechanics will tell you if you can get a Toyota Highlander, get your hands on one. Don't ever let it go.
Yeah.
Like with a death grip.
Yep.
So that's what we're hanging on to. So it's a really nice, new to us car. You know, I think our audience will be able to, thank you guys. See, they're all very happy. You all will be able to appreciate the excitedness that we have in our brand new 2011 Toyota Highlander. It's a nice car. I like it. Drives really well. It's got a lot of bum, 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 bum.
It does.
I mean, it goes like that. Like Leah she pulled out in front of a car today that was coming really fast. And all of a sudden I was like, hang on, like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Leah's a good driver.
Yeah.
It was hold on to your butts moment. Like literally. But and it went. I thought this thing could literally, you know, you have to go really fast for an airplane to take off.
Mm-hmm.
I thought if it had wings, we would be floating. We would have kind of, because it was going, man.
Yeah, I mean, pray a blessing of safety over our vehicle.
Yeah. Chris says Hondas and Toyotas are built to last. And you know what? We have one of each now. Yes, we saw your money trees out back, Aunt Gail says. Did you see my money trees? You saw my money trees? They go, I need some money. I go out there, pull a couple dollar bills off the tree. It's amazing, y'all. And I'm not sharing the seeds from our money tree. It's not going to happen. So thank you guys for your congratulations. Are you okay? So there's a dog at Leah's feet, and she's trying to do the impossible for this stubborn dog. Hey, Augie, hi, come here. Let me see. You can't sit on the. No, now you're gonna squish his fur probably underneath of there.
No, it's not underneath of him. He's just on top of it. We're good. Oh, we got a lot to do today. We have a lot to do. So let's get to it.
Breaking other news. So is this going to be painful if I tell them the other breaking news?
No.
Okay, Leah's Twitter account's been suspended.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about Voddie Baucham, but yeah, that is.
Oh, yeah. No, that is sad. Voddie. I'll get to Voddie in a second.
They said it is spam and.
They say she's not real.
Inauthentic behavior.
You're inauthentic.
And then September 3rd, I got flagged for hate speech for a scripture. Somebody was going around saying that you needed to continue the Jewish dietary laws and not eat pork. And I gave them a scripture and I said, and they said Christians would have learned how to keep kosher by going to synagogue. And I said Christians were not allowed, Gentiles specifically were not allowed in synagogues, and Christians were being kicked out of synagogues. Jewish Christians were being kicked out of synagogues. And I said Paul called the Judaizers the synagogue of Satan.
And the Judaizers were?
Those who tried to make Christians keep kosher and circumcised and things like that. So I said that and I quoted a scripture. And they reviewed my request for an appeal and
I think
still said it was hate speech. So my account was limited because not only did I do hate speech by legitimately quoting the Bible, and you guys know we are as middle of the road on Israel as you can get.
Much to the chagrin of both of you on both sides.
Okay, no, the pro-Israel people don't seem to care because we're not anti-Semitic. We don't go, Bibi does all the bad things, okay? Candace Owens does not get hate speech things on her Twitters.
We're not Candace.
Neither does anybody else. So I have this tiny little account on Twitter. It's my third account. I cannot make another stupid account. I cannot. I do not want to. Okay. I've already worked hard to get my 1,800 followers on this Twitter account. All right. I don't want to have to do any more Twittering. So I messaged my buddy Tom Renz and I said, Tom, listen, I don't know anybody with a large enough account as you. Would you please contact Twitter for me? Tell them I'm a real person. Tell them we are real. We are not a bot. We're not spamming. Could you just put in a good word for me? So we'll see if that helps or not. If you are on Twitter, would you send them a message? You can go and you can literally send a message to Twitter support and just send a message and say, at Leah Svensson, SVENSSON is not spam. Please unsuspend her account. Why is this important? Because that's where most of the news is at. Like people say, where Leah, where do you get your news from? I get it from Twitter, X, because there's no, where am I going to get CNN?
Well, no, let's hang on. Wait.
And Zero Hedge. Like that is, Twitter has become the news source to get especially breaking news. Like that's the only place to get it. But
Twitter is not a brand. And what I mean by that is Twitter is not CNN. Twitter is not CBS. It's not a brand. Like, where do I get my news from? You say X, you say Twitter. That's not, it's a, it's more like I go to Kroger, the grocery store, to buy my groceries. Okay. Mm-hmm. But they carry a whole swath of things. And so you can't criticize somebody from getting their news from Twitter. I get a lot of my news from Instagram because the people that I follow are amazing. So, you know what I mean? And the news sources vary widely, like Julie Royce, right? You're going to get her stories from her account on Twitter. So you're really following very specific people and Twitter is the hub. But I will say this, and you guys may not know this about Leah. I'm going to give you a little behind the scenes and I'm going to toss it to her and we're going to go over everything for today's show, is that Leah does count Twitter as a mission field. And so throughout the day, Leah is engaging with people. I mean, she was, before Charlie Kirk died, she was, tweeting out to Charlie Kirk. It's a place to have discussion and it's a place for, the ability to persuade people to the truth. And you do that often. And so sometimes I can tell when Leah's like in a bad mood because, and I'll know why it is because she's debating somebody on Twitter. But I think that it's healthy. It's and going back to keeping it in the Charlie Kirk theme, that is what Charlie Kirk was all about, having healthy and open dialogue and debates where you can present your ideas to people that think differently from you, right? And so you do that often. And so people were like, hey, if you were, oh, I hate Facebook, I hate Twitter, I don't do social media. Well, you're here on Rumble. Rumble is another conglomerate, right? You're here wherever you're watching us. So I just want to ask you guys personally, as Leah's sister, knowing how important this is to her and to our show and to the ministry, please pray that Leah gets the Twitter back. We'll just call it the Twitter, Twitter. I'm not bowing to the X label. I just can't do it. Cannot do it. So Voddie Baucham. Yeah, man. So very interesting, Leah. And I don't know if we want to just kick off with this story.
Sure.
I have a couple of clips that I would like to play of Voddie. I've got a couple of like the best of, but I have his last. I have his last sermon where he's talking to the subject of Charlie Kirk.
So let me explain who Voddie Baucham is. A Reformed preacher. I think he's Southern Baptist, and he's one of those great kind of apologetics preachers, and he came to my attention around the time of Black Lives Matter. He was over in Africa starting a mission in a school, and he in this kind of big beard, and he kind of looked a little bit native over there, but he came on and he felt compelled to weigh in on like Patrisse Cullors and Black Lives Matter and race relations in America, and
specifically explaining DEI in a way that I had not understood it before. Not just DEI, but this idea of oppressed and repressed people.
Yeah. So
the spectrum.
Yeah. So I found him and I started to retweet him and play some clips of him, and I was just really impressed by him, and I've been following him. He has a really good heart, and he has actually he has a big heart in his soul, but his heart was failing him. And at one point, a year or two ago, he came back to the States to get a couple surgeries, and they raised some money for him, and he was doing well. And he suddenly passed away. I don't think he was vaccinated. Was having heart issues way before any of that. He's just a big guy, and sometimes, people have heart attacks, men especially. So we're gonna pray. We're gonna honor him just like we would honor Charlie Kirk. We're gonna talk about Charlie Kirk tonight. We're gonna talk about Erica Kirk and how I feel like I'm just gonna throw out some conspiracy theories for you guys that have been bugging me. Not to put anybody's. We're not going to sully Charlie Kirk at all, because I feel like he should be honored and respected. But people around him are fair game when you're acting weird. So we're going to talk about that tonight. So let's go into Voddie Baucham, and this is his clip talking about Charlie Kirk.
Hang on 1 second. I want to switch screens here real quick. I want to go into a different one. Again, this is speaking to the fact that this was just yesterday that he passed away. So crazy.
Yeah.
So he just recently was preaching this sermon.
Yeah. So it was a sudden death.
Like this,
so like this was not like a slow.
I mean, we all knew. I wasn't surprised because I knew that he had been having heart issues, but still, it's still devastating.
Mm-hmm.
Come crashing in on us here. Not that Charlie Kirk was a preacher in a pulpit somewhere, but that in large part, it's those issues and those areas that have directly confronted biblical Christianity that he spoke to in the public square.
Amen.
Issues like biblical manhood and womanhood, marriage, human sexuality. These same issues that biblically we stand 10 toes down on. These are the ones. And by the way, here's what you need to understand. The game has changed. We don't debate anymore. You see, now we look at issues not through the lens of our underlying philosophy, but we look at issues through our identity and our lived experience.
Amen. Come on, it's not the right way.
So when someone is taking a position on political issues today, oftentimes because of this neo-Marxist ideology, this oppressor-oppressed ideology, because the way we sort of divided the world, we look at it through that lens. And so this is not just my political opinion or position. This is my identity, and this is my lived experience. So we can't have a debate on that.
Right. That's so good.
For you to have a debate on something that I have declared as my identity and my lived experience is for you to negate my identity and to negate my lived experience. And by the way, we've already decided that words are violent.
He's being sarcastic with that, by the way.
So if your words are violence and they are violence against my very identity,
like a leftist.
It's reasonable that I would respond to your words with actual violence.
Yeah.
Just know that. So that's what brings the persecution and the suffering. You don't even have to declare your position. For those of you who think you can hide, for those of you who think you can be quiet enough, for those of you who think you can put your head down and not experience some of this, just saying that you're a Christian, just people knowing the church that you go to. I get flack every time I come to Moscow, just because Doug Wilson lives here. And then he's my friend. Oh. By the way, there are other people who get in trouble because they come where I live and name me as their friend. So when you've staked out that position, when they know, for example, that you believe that life in the womb is precious and ought to be protected, when you believe that God made them male and female and one can't become the other, when you believe that marriage is between a man and a woman, and that regardless of what the Supreme Court said in Obergefell, man does not have the right to redefine the institution of marriage. When you believe, I mean, and I can go down the list, when you believe these things, you don't believe in a slate of positions that are debatable. You have identified yourself as a person whose very existence is violence against the identity and lived experience of others. And you are not worthy to live. That's where we are today. And we've seen the most brutal outworking of that. So when he says, who is there to harm you if you prove zealous for what is good? Each of you should suffer for righteousness' sake, you are blessed. Just know that those are the stakes we're talking about here. He addressed that also in chapter 2. Listen to what he said. For to this you have been called, because Christ also suffered for you, leaving you an example, so that you might follow in his steps. He committed no sin, neither was deceit found in his mouth. When he was reviled, he did not revile in return. When he suffered, he did not threaten. He continued entrusting himself to him who judges justly. He himself bore our sins in his body on the tree, that we might die to sin and live to righteousness. It is a delight to be here with you. It's always a delight to be at New St. Andrews. I've been looking forward to this for quite some time. Get that, we know that. But do we really? Do we really understand that? And I don't think we do, because most of the times when I run into people who talk to me about, doing apologetics, and people know me for doing apologetics and writing on apologetic issues and, doing public events that are apologetic in nature and going on different shows and talking about things that are apologetic in nature. Talked about Charlie Kirk in terms of his character and him. We had this game that we used to play. It was called Playing the Dozens. Now, you guys will not, you just won't eat right. But Playing the Dozens was your mama jokes, right? Oh, yeah, well, your mama's so ugly. She, oh, yeah, well, your mama's so... We used to do that as sport. I was so good at Playing the Dozens. I really was. And so when I read here in this text, but on the contrary, bless, for to this you were called, right? Don't exchange reviling for reviling. And let's be honest, we kind of like that. The algorithm feeds that stuff to us. But, so-and-so shuts down lib, so-and-so, right? We love it, right? The mic drop. But we don't revile for the sake of reviling. That's not the goal. Now, our goal at the end of the day is not to win the argument, but to win the man.
So I'm gonna stop that there. So I love that ending. This is what I believe that Charlie Kirk's goal was, and in essence, that's the exact same thing that Voddie Baucham's goal was. And so I do find it not just coincidental that we lose two of these greats in the span of a couple of weeks. I just think that there's something there. I haven't quite put my finger on it yet, but I do know this, that when someone dies, and we know this throughout history, maybe in the chat, go ahead and list me some authors who were not famous during their lifetime, but as soon as they died, their works exploded. The big blessing that we have in both Charlie Kirk and Voddie Baucham is tens of thousands of hours of their voice and the things that they said. And so now that Voddie Baucham has died, and people are still reeling from Charlie Kirk, and we're still binge watching Charlie Kirk videos, people are going to now start binge watching Voddie Baucham videos, which I can't imagine anything being more healthy for America and for the world. And so I just pray that Voddie Baucham goes completely viral now.
Let's go ahead, and while you bring us some comments, can you bring up some of his more videos?
I think I have right here.
Yeah.
Just for those of you, and this is not a condescending comment, this is just for those of you that maybe haven't grown up in the church or you don't know, the word apologetics, when he talks about the talks and the debates that he used to do, it just means the proof of Jesus that he was who he says that he was. The proof of the gospel. The proof of the gospel.
The Bible. It's the whole Bible, actually.
Exactly.
It's the proof.
And so when he would do these debates, and he has all the facts, so he's known for being able to bring those facts in a persuasive manner. That's what apologetics is, which Charlie actually was very good at apologetics as well.
A non-black person do if they run into ethnic Gnosticism and feel like it's not fair? What do you do? Well, the answer is here. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. That's what my book says.
Come on.
Not if you happen to say something that offends me, I now have the right to not be bound by this. Amen? That's me reading this for me. And I'm saying, you read this for you. Because I'm afraid that what's happened is we sort of faced off on these issues and have dismissed one another in many ways and in many instances, and we can't do that. Not if we believe this. Not if we believe this. So let us speak to the great ills and evils and sins of our day. Let us proclaim and trust in the gospel of Christ above all else. And let us never, ever forget that all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, and that we are all in desperate need of his grace, and that none of us is exempt. Let's pray.
So
That's good. This next one is where he talks, is from 2021. And he says, Black people in America are the safest, freest, most prosperous Black people on planet Earth.
Are the safest, freest. Black people in America are the safest, freest, most prosperous Black people on planet Earth. When people in that part of the world began to ask questions about whether or not I was afraid of the police and, started, repeating this narrative about, the police hunting and killing Black men, that was just a bridge too far. I was like, you guys have no idea. Black people in America are the safest, freest, most prosperous Black people on planet Earth. There's a reason that Black people are not trying to leave America, but Black people from everywhere where there are Black people are trying to get into America, and that's because we know better.
I'm going to skip ahead because you keep referencing, and why are you in Africa? And I say that selfishly because, man, we need you here. I need you here. You got to be the backbone of fixing what's going on here in America and protecting what you just described. This is the destination for Black people.
Yeah.
Why are you in Africa and not here?
I had an opportunity 6 years ago to go to Zambia and help start a university. It's a classical Christian, liberal arts, biblical worldview university. It's a unique opportunity in a unique place, and something that I was really suited for, and the time in the season was right. We have 9 children, excuse me, and 6 years ago, my wife and I, took the 7 who are still at home and moved across the water and haven't regretted it, one bit. And in terms of being able to have influence here, it's interesting. I did think about that, but I'm here 3 or 4 times a year. I'm still, writing, publishing, and speaking on these issues. And because of the time in which we live, and because of, the way media works and social media works, I still have an opportunity to have that influence. And of course, my wife believes that the Lord took me away so that I could do that without getting in all the kind of trouble that I would have gotten in had I stayed.
I'm going to go back at this again just out of pure selfishness. Yeah. This is just Jason Whitlock. It's an ungodly question I'm about to ask, or to go back at this again. But because America, to me, has been a light unto the world as it relates to Christianity. That's why I feel like protecting this home base here is so important. And so do you ever, and trust me, I'm sure there's front lines in Africa, and I know the work you're doing over there is important. But I feel like the culture war and the destruction of Christianity, like this is the front lines, because if they can bring down America, it's going to be much easier to do across the globe. Am I right, wrong for thinking? Is that a narrow focus?
You know, I think people have thought that a lot historically, but, you know, the center of gravity of Christianity has always moved. You know, Jerusalem, Athens, continental Europe, Great Britain, you know, and then, you know, the United States. The kingdom of God is undefeated. And not only is it undefeated, it's undefeatable.
That's really good. So I love Jason Whitlock. He says that he just gave $2,000 to Voddie's family. Voddie was not rich. He was not like Charlie Kirk. He lived like penny to penny. He didn't have paychecks. He was a minister of the gospel. He sacrificed everything to move to Zambia because that's where he thought the Lord wanted him. Voddie has 9 children.
Yeah, that's huge.
9 children and 3 grandkids, a devoted wife. Jason Whitlock says, I want to challenge others in the Christian conservative space to add to your monthly tithe by supporting Voddie's family. Let's build a momentum of Charlie Kirk Memorial, and let's demonstrate the other ways Christians respond when we lose one of our frontline soldiers. And then Founders Men, there's a Give, Send, Go, support the Baucham family. And it's going to be at Give, Send, Go, Baucham family.
Baucham.
Yeah. So 9 kids, 3 grandkids. So we're praying for them.
So I want to address just very quickly before we move on.
I got a couple.
The topic that he was talking about, and you know, Jason honestly saying that it was a selfish and ungodly question. Each and every single one of us has to answer to God for what we're called to do and where we're supposed to be and all of that. I will say that it is on the one hand much more difficult to minister overseas because of all of the you have to relearn life, you have to relearn how you do everything, and to make that kind of move is a gigantic sacrifice. On the other hand, it's much easier to minister over there because you're not dealing with the culture war and you're not dealing with all of that stuff. And I'm not going to stand here and say one way or the other which one Voddie was supposed to do, but I will say this: I actually believe, and I think I speak for Leah here, that if Voddie had stayed there, he probably would have been safer just spiritually, because the arrows that fly here in America, the spiritual arrows, are so deadly, and the dangers of dying, you know, because of spiritual issues, I feel like are much higher in the U.S. And so Lee and I actually were not excited for him when he had to come back. We were sad, and I felt like he probably should have stayed. What do I know? I'm not a family member. I'm not a close confidant. I don't know his details. It's just kind of like how my gut felt. But each person has to do what they are called to do, and I agree with Voddie that he was able to do both by coming back here several times, and the online ministry was huge. So I don't think that it was any kind of loss to America, like Jason Whitlock seems to think, that Voddie was overseas doing what he felt called to do. So Ange says that my video clips are much louder than our audio, so I'm going to try to adjust that. I do not at all mind feedback from you guys. I much appreciate it.
Can we play this last clip I've got of Voddie, who says he goes to war with this woke tyranny because I love fallen men enough to tell them the truth.
That's good.
I go to war against this woke tyranny, number one, because there is a God who created the world, and he has spoken. And fallen man does not get to disagree with the God who has spoken. And I go to war against this woke tyranny because, number two, I love fallen men enough to tell them the truth.
That's good.
There is a God. He has spoken. He created man in his image, created him male and female. He gave us the beauty of the marital relationship as a living, breathing picture of the communion within the Godhead and of the relationship between Christ and his bride, for whom he laid down his life.
May God grant us grace to believe this truth, to proclaim this truth, and to reflect this truth so that a lost and dying world can hear it, flee from sin, and find salvation in Christ.
Okay.
God, I just lift up Voddie Baucham and his family. I ask you
Amen.
to take care of his widow and his children and his grandchildren. I ask that they would always have what they need, that they would always be provided for. I know that you received him, and I can see, Charlie and Voddie shaking hands and
Amen.
working together in heaven. And I just pray that his voice too, and his clips and his books, and I don't know if he wrote any books, but I guess I'm sure he did. His sermons would go out to be learned from and gleaned from, and that his work would continue on, that his life would continue on. I just plead the blood of Jesus over the Baucham family. I ask that you comfort them. I ask, Father God, that you make it like their dad is still with them. I ask you,
Amen.
Father God, that the passion to preach that you put inside of Voddie would continue on, and that his words would not cease to go throughout the universe, which are the words represented in your word. And I just pray, Father God, that his ministry would continue on through his kids and his grandkids. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. So I want to encourage you guys to go back and watch Voddie. Just go to YouTube, man, and just watch Voddie Baucham sermons.
Well, I will warn you, though, there are a lot of fake AI ones
No.
now out there. Yeah, they're doing that for everybody. So if you
I wonder
see
if they'll
any,
ever do fake AI resistance chicks.
well, I hope not. But if you see one that has a picture with an AI on it, don't click on it. Just click some of the older ones where you see him exactly. Don't listen to like an audio of him. Listen to the real videos, because they're faking them. They're making up new sermons.
Oh, that's really terrible. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, if you can go and watch the ones that were uploaded, just look at the date. If it's from like 2 or 3 years ago,
Yeah,
you're probably safe.
The new AI stuff came out about last year.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to shift gears here. And this was the breaking news this week. I do not believe, obviously, in this whole, I don't believe that all of autism is caused by Tylenol. Let me just tell you that. I don't know the big push against Tylenol, but what's interesting is that ivermectin is safer than Tylenol. And growing up, everybody kept saying, Tylenol safe, Tylenol safe, Tylenol safe. Well, Donald Trump tweeted out on the 26th, or today. Was it today or yesterday? It was this week.
Today's the 26th.
So he says, pregnant women don't use Tylenol unless
He also
absolutely
said it
necessary.
do you have the clip?
No, I don't. I have other stuff.
Oh.
Don't give Tylenol to your young child for virtually any reason. Break up the MMR shot into 3 totally separate shots, not mixed. Take chicken pea shot separately. Take hepatitis B shot at 12 years old or older. And importantly, take vaccine in 5 separate medical visits. That is, pretty good, actually.
Is that a tweet you actually have up that I can?
It's up. All of these are up.
Okay.
Yep.
I wanted to pull that one up.
This guy says, why break up the MMR shot unless Andy Wakefield was right? That combo shot does cause gut issues, and now we know causes autism. Tylenol depletes the glutathione, which also contributes to autism. Trump is giving advice for those who still vaccinate, but vax-free is best. So that's actually good news. Tylenol has been recommended as a safe option for pregnant women for decades. And then if you look at this tweet, so RFK Jr. reportedly plans to link Tylenol use to pregnant women in pregnant women to autism. The medication has been recommended as a safe option for decades. Now, this was on the 5th of September. And then somebody tweeted out Tylenol from 2017, March 7th. We don't actually recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns today. Congrats on your upcoming edition. So exciting. It'd be great to touch base real quick since we haven't tested Tylenol to be used during pregnancy. So the pushback against Tylenol is pretty crazy. All right. Internal records show Johnson & Johnson Tylenol maker privately admitted evidence was getting heavy for autism risk in 2018, and doctors were warning J&J as early as 2008. According to the DCNF report, J&J's Janssen division, its pharmaceutical arm, began fielding queries from consumers and doctors about a potential acetaminophen autism link as early as 2008. Key highlights: 2008, J&J's Office of Consumer Medical Safety lead Andre Mann received a physician's letter raising concerns. He wrote internally, "Not much choice but to consider this a safety signal that needs to be evaluated." 2012, Leslie Scher, head of J&J's post-market drug safety monitoring, got an alert from a worried father about the risks. A college flagged it as urgent in case this goes to the press. 2018, Rachel Weinstein, U.S. Director of Epidemiology for Janssen, emailed colleagues, "The weight of the evidence is starting to feel heavy to me regarding associations between prenatal acetaminophen use and neurodevelopment disorders like autism. These weren't just casual notes. J&J was actively monitoring studies and parent reports but failed to publicly disclose them. The company spun off its consumer health unit, including Tylenol, to Kevnu in 2023, shifting liabilities. Same thing happened with Monsanto and giving its GMO arm to Bayer. This revelation is fueling lawsuits. A multi-district litigation in New Jersey federal court is probing whether manufacturers failed to warn about the risks right now. So Johnson & Johnson spun off that consumer brand to try to keep the two separated there.
So, Leah, do you have the clip from Trump this week?
No.
No, not just about that.
I don't
about
have a clip of Trump right now. I have other.
Okay.
I have the Leftists taking Tylenol clips.
Okay, that's fine. I am going to find it because I think it's very, very important. I showed it to you this week of Trump not so everyone's making a big deal about Trump linking Tylenol to autism.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's a bigger deal that Trump linked the vaccines to autism.
Yeah, just a reminder, ivermectin is safer than Tylenol and far safer than the COVID shots. That's from Dr. Mary Bowden. All right, so the left hates Trump. So anything that Trump says, they are going to go against. So a lot of women are taking Tylenol while pregnant, and it's become it's very dangerous. So this takes Trump derangement syndrome to a whole new level, especially considering that these findings are not Trump's or RFK's. These are just a few of many pregnant women posting videos of themselves popping Tylenol in defiance to prove a point. Leftism really is a mental disorder for many. And then you have the government of Canada and the mainstream media, the same people that told you that the mRNA vaccines were safe and effective, who now no longer believe in following the science and even claim that there are no studies to show a link between autism and acetaminophen. Isn't that interesting, given the fact that the following world-renowned medical institutions, to name just a few, state otherwise? So they have this picture, they have this video here of all these moms taking Tylenol. You can just press play.
28 weeks pregnant. You know what I'm going to take? Some Tylenol, acetaminophen. It's going to work like a charm, and my baby won't have autism.
And you know what's so funny is that Tylenol has never once helped me with any pain in my body whatsoever.
We're not a Tylenol family.
I've taken a head. If I have headaches or body aches, it has never once helped any pain I've ever had. Not one time.
Yeah.
My medical advice from a man who doesn't have a degree in science, healthcare, or
She's talking about
medicine.
RFK. I'm going to skip her because she's super low. This is the one I played at this. I'm muting their song here. Here's me, pregnant woman taking Tylenol because I believe in science and not someone who has no medical background. This chick taking her. And then there's another one, pregnant and taking Tylenol. So...
Just so weird.
It's very strange. It used to be that when there was a possibility of a risk of something, everybody just went like, okay, hang on, let's just not. There are other options other than Tylenol that we can take.
Yeah.
Why? Like, why do you have to? These people are making a statement and possibly putting their child at risk.
Yeah.
Tylenol right now as a spite to Trump and RFK. I really highly urge you to do any lick of research, because if you did, you would know that Tylenol has been involved in billions and billions of dollars worth of lawsuits since just the 90s for fetal abnormality, liver failure, neurological deficits in the unborn child. Did you know that according to the National Institute of Health, over 50% of annual liver failures have a direct link to Tylenol? Did you also know that over 20% of liver transplants every single year have a direct link to Tylenol as well? No, probably not, because again, there are a lot of things your doctors do not tell you, and way too many lawsuits have been targeted at J&J for this very reason. Trump did not say, if you take Tylenol, you're gonna give your baby autism. He didn't say, stop taking Tylenol. He didn't say, we're taking Tylenol off the shelf. He said verbatim, you have the choice to take whatever you want, just do it with your doctor and be cautious. And that angers some of you so much that even with scientific evidence from over 10 reputable medical universities, some of the best in the world, and our own health institutes also citing data as to how Tylenol has historically been incredibly dangerous and that J&J has failed to disclose these issues, you will still call Trump incompetent and wrong. No, you shouldn't take medical advice from anyone that doesn't have a medical degree or isn't a scientist or isn't a researcher. But there might be a reason that all of these reputable institutions have not only done these studies for numerous decades now, but have also had specific findings. There's also a reason that Tylenol is one of the most common poisonings in our country every single year, because even under doctor's advice, and even if you take the perfect dosage, it's incredibly easy to overdose. And because of this, way too many people have. Again, one of the most common poisonings every single year. There also might be a reason that the NIH is telling you, hey, it can do a lot of damage, please be careful. That has nothing to do with Trump. And just because Trump is the one saying it and you hate him, doesn't mean you should discredit everything else, and it doesn't mean that if you are pregnant, you should go fisting a bottle of Tylenol. That is absurd. If you hate Trump more than you love your baby, that is something you need to sort out with a therapist, not take Tylenol for. But you've made it clear that you don't care about the unborn anyway, because according to you, it's just a worthless clump of cells, right? So why would you even care what Trump would say about pregnancy and autism anyway?
Wow.
So one last video that I have here before we find the Trump clip, Michelle, is Canada state media 5 years ago was telling people that Tylenol during pregnancy was an issue. To the left. To the left. You have it. It's right up there. Yeah.
This one.
Pregnancy and pain medication. It's part of a study in the British scientific journal Nature. And here's what it does. It cautions pregnant women about using acetaminophen. And that is the active ingredient in Tylenol and many other medications that so many of us use to relieve pain or fever. CBC Health and Science reporter Christine Birak has the details.
The statement is backed by nearly 100 scientists and doctors from around the world. They insist a higher level of caution is needed when pregnant people use fever and pain meds that contain acetaminophen, including Tylenol. The authors don't have any new evidence showing the drug harms a developing fetus, but their statement does say a growing body of experimental and epidemiological research suggests that prenatal exposure to acetaminophen might alter fetal development, which could in turn increase the risks of certain neurodevelopmental, reproductive, and urogenital disorders.
Sorry, I'll read it.
Oh no, I do have I have the minute.
And medical health experts.
If you want to find it on
YouTube. Yeah, I do.
Of Trump telling women not to take Tylenol. I don't know how I feel about this. So I want you guys to put your comments in the chat, and I would like to know if you know anybody who has autistic kids or has children that have been neurologically damaged in some way. If you know,
first effective immediate.
That's what you wanted.
I actually want the autism one, or the one about the Amish.
Oh, I thought we played that before, but go ahead.
We did not. I shared it with you yesterday.
Oh, okay.
On a dog walk we were doing.
Immediately, the FDA will be notifying physicians that the use of.
Do you know anybody who's taken Tylenol and had issues?
Let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen. Acetaminophen. Is that okay? Which is basically commonly known as Tylenol, during pregnancy can be associated with a very increased risk of autism. So taking Tylenol is not good.
There you go.
All right, I'll say it. It's not good. For this reason, they are strongly recommending that women limit Tylenol use during pregnancy unless medically necessary. That's, for instance, in cases of extremely high fever. And by the way, I think I can say that there are certain groups of people that don't take vaccines and don't take any pills that have no autism. that have no autism.
This is it. This is the clip.
Does that tell you something? That's currently. Is that a correct statement, by the way?
So hang on, I want to share the rest of that. And I actually, let me just grab it from our Facebook here. Because I shared.
And by the way, I think
whoa, sorry guys, that's super loud. Because I asked you guys for your thoughts on this, because I do want to know what you guys think. I mean, I think I know what you think already, but I would like to hear it anyway.
I think I can say that there are certain groups of people that don't take vaccines and don't take any pills that have no autism. That have no autism. Does that tell you something? That's currently. Is that a correct statement, by the way?
There are some studies that suggest that, yeah, with the Amish, for example.
The Amish, yeah, virtually. I heard none. See, Bobby wants to be very careful with what he says, and he should, but I'm not so careful with what I say. But you have certain groups. The Amish, as an example, they have essentially no autism. And by the way, I think I can say that there are certain groups of people that.
So I thought that was super interesting that he finally said it. And I told Leah when I shared it, it was like 4 days ago. We'll see how time flies. This does harken back to original Trump. Back in 2015, when he was running, we knew that this was his stance.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's been so silent about it ever since has been infuriating for most of us. And so to finally have him come out and actually start saying it, it's like, well, thank you. Lorraine says, I have a son on the spectrum, injured at 18 months, now almost fully recovered at 23, but still have issues that we face. Amen. Wow. Praise God for that.
And did you ever get a, was it, do you think vaccines or, something along those lines? Those are, we can only know by anecdotal evidence, and you should sit down with all the autism parents and they should have a giant questionnaire, a very detailed one, and then you kind of just follow the dots, like where they're all kind of culminating. And then when you have the outliers, you have an outlier, right? Speaking of outliers, Michelle, you can bring up SD bullion and gold and silver today, but guys, remember when we told you to go to silver? My mom was saying silver dimes, okay, buying silver dimes. Gold has traditionally been a little bit more of a solid staying power, where silver has gone kind of up and down and up and down. Well, if you had bought silver 15 years ago, you would have silver is up basically 200% from 10 years ago. It's up 110% from 15 years ago. And we told you guys to start buying it. The silver squeeze was in 2022, I think. I think at that time, the silver gold eagle, the silver eagles that we were, suggesting, this I was just suggesting people get, were like $34 with spot. Today, silver is at 46. It's 46.24, and gold is at one point it was at 3,777, which I thought was a great number. Gold is up about the same, 200%. So what I'm seeing right now is that gold and silver are beginning to track a little bit better between the two, as far as how much they have changed over the past 15 years. Certainly nowhere near tracking the constitutional value of 15 to 1. So when we were encouraging you guys to get silver, that's because everybody who I believe is intelligent is saying that silver is more undervalued than gold, that gold has been kind of keeping its value a little bit better, which means you're looking at, a better return, and it shouldn't be an investment, but you can call it an investment for just the sake of how we're talking about it right now. And right now is, people will say, Leah, is it too late to buy silver, it's never too late. I do believe some people were saying, you know, if $50 silver is just a touch away. That, my friends, is insane.
Well, it also represents the devaluation of the dollar.
Where I was gonna, that's what I was gonna say. That what we're seeing right now, and I have an article up on the price of electricity, the price of energy. What we are seeing right now with silver catching up to gold, it's running. Like it is running. Silver is running. Now there was what we saw in 2022 was some people trying to do a short squeeze. What you're seeing right now is the market is falling out. The dollar is just collapsing. It's being utterly destroyed. And so I'm encouraging you guys, if you have any sort of investment income, to go to Lynette Zhang
or resistancechicks.com/God's money to get there.
Yeah. And if you just go to Lynette Zhang, tell them Resistance Chicks send you, or go to God's money for resistancechicks.com/God's money, and tell them, you know, you can tell them, hey, listen, Resistance Chicks are telling me I got to move my portfolios over. I got to move my investment over. How do I do that? And they will help you in doing that. If you just want to get some silver, I go to ST Bullion. That's where we go. And we buy the Silver Eagles.
So Lynette doesn't have a minimum, like the previous company that we were with, which we loved them, by the way, ITM Trading. We only switched because we really felt super aligned with Lynette and her, Wealth Shield and all of the gardening that she does and all of that. But she also, one of the bonuses is that she does not have a minimum anymore. They used to have $1,000 minimum over there at ITM Trading.
Right.
So
Exactly.
there is no minimum. Sherry says that she has an order coming in a few days. They are predicting it to be triple digits next year. That is, in my humble opinion, a prediction of the collapse of the dollar. Not as much as like, don't ever view gold and silver as an investment, because then you're gambling just like the stock market. That's not what it is supposed to be.
Right.
And I love that Lynette always says wealth preservation,
right?
Meaning you have this dollar bill and tomorrow it's worth less than it was today because they keep pouring water into the lemonade and there's no lemonade left. So when we tell you guys to get gold and silver, it's really just so that you can preserve what is left of the value of this, right? And they are predicting triple digits, but please don't get it because of that. But by all means, please don't hang on to this.
If silver,
I don't know that we can withstand the inflation if silver hits triple digits.
Well, let me tell you something. The way that silver is moving right now,
it is moving very quickly.
It's on a run, and it's like the horse has left the barn.
Yeah,
it's just gone.
Yeah,
you're not going to catch it.
They have been artificially suppressing the price of silver through shorts.
It seems like it's kind of broken through a few of those barriers that have been keeping it suppressed.
Right.
It's almost like a dam has broken.
Yeah,
because every day, like I remember saying, Michelle, silver hit 30. Like silver doesn't move.
I remember when it hit 25 or 26 and we were all like,
40.
whoa.
No, just a few, it was like I don't know when it was, like it hit 40 like a month or so ago. And I was like, it hit 40. Crazy numbers, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about that. And then it just like hit 44 and it just like went to 46.
You know what I would love if we could do is when we refer to this, and it's a mouthful to say it, but I'll try to anyway. The dollar made silver hit. You know what I mean? The devaluation of the dollar made silver hit.
Well, yes and no, because
it makes it more sound like this. I know we're not saying it this way, but like, ooh, silver hit 40.
Well,
it hit 45. It hit 50. Like it's not like we're not watching something increase in value. We're watching the dollar decrease.
So when I'm listening to silver guys, the dollar should have caused silver to rise a lot.
It should be at $300.
So what I'm saying is that something within the silver community has broken free. So when I say silver broke through,
that's true. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about silver is making a run because it's kind of like through the desert.
Yeah.
It's already paved. The way for silver to go has already been paved by this fiat dollar.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say silver has a long way to catch up to the devaluation of the dollar. The dollar keeps going down. So that means that silver has to go even farther tomorrow, right?
True.
To catch up to where it's been devalued today. We haven't even gotten there yet. right?
No, like I said,
and then
it should be
tomorrow it's going to be devalued even more
So-
because the dollar is even worse. It's going to be worse tomorrow.
So it, in
like
my
playing
humble
catch up.
opinion, silver should be at like $300. For the 15-to-1, we would be looking at, what is it, like $200 that it should be at to match silver, to match gold's 3,700, almost 3,800, something like that.
Well, 15 to 1. Yeah.
Give or take. But my point is, it being $40, $45, $46. I mean, that's the way that Lynette always talks about it is it's like 90%.
No, this is what I'm trying to
off.
explain to you. You just said silver 45, 40, 45, and 40. You guys have to understand, silver only moves in cents.
Dollars, but yeah.
No, it moves like
Sometimes
25
it
cents.
moves in dollars.
Very minimally. Do you see a dollar jump in silver at one time? Okay. Listen, since we've been doing resistance shakes, I've been watching the prices of silver. Everybody gets excited. It moves 25 cents. Silver moves by cents. Gold, it's a big deal if it jumps like by $10 or $20. But silver usually, it went up 25 cents. All the silver guys go, woo, right? For silver to jump $2, that's like a gold move.
The question of, is it too late? It's literally never too late. Lynette answers this question brilliantly every time she does it. I'm not as good at her as it, but I'm going to just say this. I purchase silver. I don't usually get into gold because it's expensive. I a little bit we have, but I usually just purchase silver because it's easy to buy a handful of these, silver dollars or some junk silver or whatever than it is to put the big money out for the gold. I'm going to be honest. I never care what the price is when I buy it. I literally don't care because I know how undervalued it is right now. So whether I buy it at $45 or whether I buy it at 17, obviously that with 17 would be a big difference. It's not been down at 17 in years, but it really does not matter in my humble opinion. You have to do you. We're not giving legal or financial advice here, but I'm telling you the way that my brain works.
Right.
That I just don't even care. I just get it when I can get it.
In other news, this week I was shocked because Trump tweeted out about Pam Bondi, and then it was as if he didn't tweet it. He had to tweet a defense of his own putting her down. So which is hilarious to me. So on the 20th, he says, Pam, I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially same old story as last week. All talk, no action. Nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adam Shifty Schiff, Letitia? They're all guilty as HELL, but nothing is going to be done. Then we almost put in a Democrat-supported U.S. attorney in Virginia with a really bad Republican past, a woke rhino who was never going to do his job. That's why two of the worst Dem senators pushed him so hard. He even lied to the media and said he quit and that we had no case. No, I fired him, and there was a great case with many lawyers and legal pundits say so. Lindsay Halligan is a really good lawyer and likes you a lot. We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility. They impeached me twice and indicted me 5 times over nothing. Justice must be served now. President Donald J. Trump. Now, the question is everybody's asking is, don't you have her phone number?
That's what I said when I saw it. I was
don't
like,
you
what
have,
even is
like,
this?
can you text her?
Yeah.
Why did this read truth?
But
why
just
did you put
texting?
this out?
You pick up the phone and you literally call her.
So it's, then he literally tweets out, Pam Bondi is doing, it's just below it. Pam Bondi is doing a great job as Attorney General of the United States. She is very careful, very smart, loves our country, but needs a tough prosecutor in the Eastern District of Virginia, like my recommendation, Lindsay Halligan, to get things moving. What we don't need is a Democrat-endorsed Republican. I will be nominating Lindsay Halligan to be the U.S. Attorney in this very important blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh my gosh, we're just like, what in the wide world of politics is going on around here? No, he meant to retruth that, and I just feel like he's missing a few.
So, the guy that just shared this said that he's leaving open the room for the possibility that he posted a direct message by mistake. He is not using Truth Social. Remember, this was a truth. It's not even a tweet. He is not using Truth Social to message his attorney general. No way. that he meant to put that out there. Like, this is ridiculous. Now, he may have sent that to her as a text and then been so upset about it that he decided to go ahead and like make it public. But still, that's Leah, let me read some comments here before we move on, because there were some good ones, especially about the gold and silver. Lorraine says that they made their first purchase at 17 and they're still buying more. Chris says, I had better hurry up and get some more silver dimes. I want to tell you that Chris came up for her birthday week to the Resistance Chicks general store launch into the mustard seed market this past weekend. She was hugely instrumental in rescuing us from the straight line winds, aka tornado that happened to our booth. But she bought some products and she literally stopped to buy silver dimes to pay us in silver dimes. It made Patriot Gallery's whole day when I told her that. So that is so awesome. Aunt Gail says, silver is useful in products. Lorraine says, yes, wealth preservation, secure your wealth. Sherry says, yes, keeping it all in fiat means you can buy less. Faith Gal, aka Lorraine, says, I agree, it's broken through and there's no going back. Sherry says, I'm waiting for a time when 30 pieces of silver will buy a potter's field again. We may get there. We might get there. Let's see. Jim says, the bankers have devalued the silver trade for years. It is now beginning to go where it should be. Well said. Sherry says, I'm a sucker for a pretty coin, but they say to buy the rounds to pay less premiums. And Steeler says, that last girl has a brain. Don't know what to say about the others. I have some friends like that and just pray for them even when they say that I am crazy. I don't know if you mean I think he means the series of the women popping the pills and then ending with the one. So
I don't know. I wanted your thoughts on this. The Department of Homeland Security using Pokemon as a recruitment tool. Like you're gonna, you know how you find the Pokemons? You're gonna go find the illegal aliens.
Leah,
this is a legit ad from Department of Homeland Security.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my
I feel like they're turning into
I will travel across the land, searching far and wide.
I desperately want your thoughts on this. I don't even
understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me.
If we even get
Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend. In a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em. Our hearts so true. Our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon.
okay. I
that is
have a
like-
theory.
I need you guys to see. Scroll up just real quick before you close that down. That is legit Homeland Security.
Right. Okay. So I have a theory on this. Are you ready? I refuse to believe that we live in a world where our Homeland Security would, let me shut this down, make an ad like that. Okay. So here's what I think happened. I think that some kid who thought that they would love to work for Homeland Security one day decided to make an ad and they shared it with Homeland Security, and Homeland Security was like, oh, little kid, this is so cute. Good job making this hilarious little ad. Gotta catch them all. Like you would if a child gave you like a drawing and you would cherish it.
Guys,
and treasure it.
Help me.
I feel like my answer is the only plausible answer in all of this.
Help me with your own commentary on this, because
S7 Ann says Pokemon is Japanese, meaning a pocket monster. I'm telling you that
I'm
I am
embarrassed
right.
for our government.
Right on this.
I'm embarrassed. I mean, I understand why they're doing it, probably to reach this generation of Pokemoners that they've just now reached the workforce age. But I'm embarrassed. Like, do you think that that's going to work? Do you think somebody's going to be like, yay, I want to do Pokemon? And like, they're really going to think, like, the whole point about Pokemon is like, they're not real, but like, you're literally arresting like drug cartel members. And like, what if Pokemon were real and like could come and like shoot your head off? Like, that's not the same. Like, you don't, like, life isn't a video game. right?
Right. Please keep giving me feedback. I am adjusting the audio as I'm getting feedback from you guys. If the videos are still way louder than us, please let me know. And I am actively working on that.
So we're going to get to some Charlie Kirk stuff here in a minute, but I'm going through my non-Charlie Kirk stories
All right,
because when
there
I
you
go
go.
to Charlie Kirk, it's just going to be all Charlie Kirk. And there were other things that bothered me this week. So I want to bring those to you. One of them is that this is Dearborn, Michigan.
Oh,
This is
no.
really creepy to me that Dearborn, Michigan residents have posted that they have to listen to the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day, blasted in their neighborhood. Could you
I
imagine?
can't believe there's any like natural born citizens here in America that still live in Dearborn, Michigan.
What is happening? Like,
Why
this
have they not
is
all moved?
Not okay. Like, this is, how is this even like allowed?
Sorry, guys. This is kind
Like,
of
if
freezing
you,
up on me.
I don't think you would be allowed to blast something this loud, period.
Yeah, like
even-
we have noise ordinances.
Like, we
for
have a
this sort of
church
thing.
bells, like, but it has to not be like annoying like this.
I'm
and you know
frozen.
what? Miranda, why don't you refresh the page?
Would love to. It's still
Levine
frozen.
of the New York Post was like, I don't really mind this. It's just a call to prayer. No, it's not. This is not a call to prayer, and not all religions are the same. And Islam is not the same as Christianity. This is not like church bells ringing, and everybody knows it. Okay, everyone knows it. It's annoying. It's a call to, unleash hell on your neighbor. It's evil. It's wrong. It's diabolical. It's not even beautiful. Oh, they don't even sing right. Hate speech, probably. Yeah, I hate it. I truly hate it. I absolutely hate it. It's awful. Now, if you go to the next one, the guy's complaining. Oh my gosh. You got the Dearborn mayor, Abdullah Hamoud, says you don't belong in this city, you Islamophobe, because you don't want to hear this pro-jihad call to, like, I don't like it. Shut it off.
Hezbollah, bombed the embassy in Beirut, and including many Americans. So I just feel it's quite inappropriate.
You are an Islamophobe.
Yeah.
And although you live here, I want you to know, as mayor, you are not welcome here. And the day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city. Because you are not somebody who believes in coexistence.
Hezbollah.
You cannot be here. Oh my God. I speak this over you, that these radical Muslims must leave America.
Amen.
You don't belong here. You don't belong in Dearborn. You don't belong in Michigan. Get out in the name of Jesus. You don't get to bring your foul, stinky stench of a religion to come and try to overtake America. I can see the death in you. I can see the hate in you. I can see the anger in you. You don't get to come into a Christian nation based on Christian principles and bring your foul stench. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to try to, I thought on Twitter you could say things that you wanted to say. Obviously you can't, because I'm suspended there. I would like a moment. I had a dream that we were doing D Live. On D Live, they didn't care what I said. Not one time. They don't care. This is a gamer site. I want to be able to say what I want to say. I think that they have come here to try to take over our country, and they do not have good intentions. And even if some people came here with good intentions, you need to assimilate into our Christian culture, and then you can stay. If you're not going to assimilate into Christian culture, then you need to leave. And this is an act of war.
I like Sherry here. She says, and this is why we should not allow them into our government. And she says, coexistence, we cannot coexist with that. I would blast my own music in response.
That's what I'm going to do.
Jim says it is a capture of Dearborn by the Muslims.
Yep.
Lorraine says, make boomboxes great again. LOL, drown them out with worship music.
That's what we got to do.
Jim says, send Turning Point into Dearborn.
Yeah. You know what? That'll show you who they are, because I would love to see you. It's a no-go zone.
No,
It's
it is,
a
because here's the thing.
no-go
If you
zone,
were
right?
if you were to blast your own worship music, you could probably get thrown into jail because it was disrespectful and an act of
It's
violence.
like a UK type deal now, and they've taken over the whole police force. Oh, you're just an act of hate, right? No, it's worship music. Now, I hate this. You know what I hate? I hate the fact that Kash Patel is telling me that Jeffrey Epstein didn't traffic anybody to anybody.
What?
Well, what he's saying, let me just clarify. He's saying that they have no evidence. I don't know if it's like some sort of united front, but what he's not saying is, I came here and they scrubbed everything. You don't get to just randomly say, well, we don't have any evidence.
You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
In the case file.
Okay. Now,
I get it, but the way he says this is not, but I'm sure there's information somewhere else
that we don't have access to.
What he's saying, of course, Comey, McCabe, and all these people scrubbed every last bit of it. And he doesn't have a paper trail of it. Of course, they cleansed everything before you took over. And you're not even saying that. And that's what really bothers me.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's what really, really, really bothers me. Did I say it bothered me?
You can't, whatever that was, we can't show it.
I wasn't going to have you show. I'm just going to read it.
Okay.
This is a little story, but I'm going to throw it out here. A former New York financier who managed money for George Soros has been arrested on charges spanning bank fraud to sex trafficking. His name is Howard Rubin. He's 70 years old. He's been taken into custody this morning at a home in Fairfield, Connecticut. According to a 10-count indictment released in a Brooklyn federal court. So you talk about sex trafficking and people and Epstein. Well, this guy, Rubin, is accused of sex trafficking at least 10 women between 2009 and 2019, luring them to various New York City hotels and a Manhattan penthouse with a soundproof BDSM sex dungeon where he restrained, beat, and shocked them with electricity. Rubin reportedly spent at least $1 million on said activities. He has also been charged with bank fraud related to false statements on financial documents during a civil lawsuit stemming from these activities. As alleged, the defendants used Rubin's wealth to mislead and recruit women to engage in commercial sex acts where Rubin then tortured them beyond their consent, causing lasting physical or psychological pain, in some cases physical injuries. Allegations against Rubin are not new. And he's been on the radar since 2017. Supposedly, he paid thousands of dollars. He gagged people, tied people up. I'm not going to repeat any more of the actual things. He's bank fraud. In 2020, he emailed a signed financial statement to co-sign Powers' mortgage. Let's see here. Go back here. According to the indictment, Rubin's personal assistant, Jennifer Powers, is also facing sex trafficking charges tied to her boss's proclivities. And I guess he wired her or helped her with her mortgage. And so I just throwing this out there. It's weird. It's crazy. And he is a George Soros fund manager. So he's a millionaire and a sex trafficker, and they're out there and they're everywhere. So leaked memo. This should be a big headline story. If anybody out there wants an unpaid gig, feel free to take any of my clips, retweet them. There's a really great guy on Twitter who was doing them. And now he's probably not even watching my show because he was watching them on Twitter. If you are still watching, maybe, I'm sorry. I thank you for all the little clips you were making. You're awesome. Leaked memo has revealed that the FBI deployed a stunning 274 agents on January 6th, causing an internal revolt. The FBI deployed nearly 300 plainclothes agents to the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. In an effort that became so chaotic, it caused an internal schism within the agency that led many rank and file at the Bureau that core competencies had been lost to wokeness and that employees had become pawns in a political war According to an after-action report hidden from the public for 4 years, it's been obtained by Just the News with John Sullivan. Anonymous complaints were sent to the after-action team by scores of FBI agents and other personnel, many from the Bureau's premier Washington office, detailing how agents were sent into a dangerous situation without proper safety equipment or even the ability to identify themselves as armed officers to other police agencies. Most common among the complaints was that under former directors Chris Wray and just indicted James Comey, the Bureau had become infected with political bias and liberal ideology that treated the Trump-supporting J6 protesters much differently from Black Lives Matter protesters in 2020. We all saw that. The FBI should make clear to its personnel and public that despite its obvious political bias, it ultimately still takes its mission and priorities seriously, one employee wrote. It should equally and aggressively investigate criminal activity regardless of the offender's perceived race, political affiliations, or motivations, and that it should equally and aggressively protect all Americans regardless of perceived race, political affiliation, or motivations. Another agent suggested that the problem was widespread throughout the FBI. Currently, the U.S. Attorney's Office is dictating what it is that gets investigated. This is a dangerous precedent because we can barely get them to prosecute investigations that clearly meet thresholds needed for the federal prosecutions, an agent wrote. However, their willingness to conduct a search warrant on someone's life for a misdemeanor seems ridiculous. It is unreasonable for the FBI to conduct investigations involving misdemeanor violations at a federal level. It is not our role. Several employees directly mentioned the Washington field office and its culture. The WFO is a hopelessly broken office that's more concerned about wearing masks and recruiting preferred racial sexual groups than catching actual bad guys.
Washington field office.
One worker wrote, I wish you would all pay more attention to our safety than what type of masks we wear. If you are going to deploy us to a riot situation, then give us the proper darn safety equipment, helmet, face shield, protective clothing, and training. In total, the after-action feedback spanned 50 pages, which were located by current Director Kash Patel's office. Just the News writes, the document has proven a bombshell to lawmakers, revealing for the first time the FBI had 274 agents there. I want to know how many went into the Capitol. I want to know which ones encourage people to get into the Capitol. I don't know if you see anybody saying, hey, let's do this. Hey, let's do that. Or maybe, hey, you know what? That's a bad stinking idea. 274. And Christopher Wray was like, I can't comment. I can't tell you how many. And they hammered him and they hammered him. They're like, hey, we know you had agents. This was actual 274 planes. These weren't just like informants.
But see,
these were actual FBI agents.
I want to know if Ray Epps was one of them.
And I don't think he was an FBI agent. They've said that he's not an FBI agent. Now, he would have been.
But if they lie about, if they haven't told us the number of agents that were there, then they would easily lie about whether Ray Epps was one.
Well, I'm glad they found this, but Lord have mercy. I want to know their names. I want to know their faces. I want to know everything. I want to see. I want to know. I want to know because you know what? I think a lot of people accidentally got caught up in the probe and then their faces vanished.
Mm-hmm.
RFK Jr. is considering adding autism symptoms to the VAERS program. And he said we have a team looking at it. We have a way to capture these kids. So that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
We need a way to capture these autism symptoms.
So Lorraine did say earlier, and I forgot to read this comment, that it is MMR. It is 100% MMR what happened to her son. She has videos from before and after, and he was convulsing within 3 hours of having had the vaccine. Wow. That's heartbreaking, and I just want to vomit.
Right. Okay, so Pennsylvania, but I believe it's the whole Midwest, is focusing on the midterms could be just about electricity prices. A near majority of digital ads are focused on defining who is to blame for New Jersey's escalating electric prices in a heated competitive race for governor. Just as many likely run on television, the Democratic gubernatorial candidate incumbent U.S. Representative Mickey Sherrill is blamed for backing the status quo, resulting in skyrocketing electric bill rates. Projecting toughness as an executive, Sherrill points the finger at utility companies. As the New Jersey blame game continues through the fall, it is unlikely that anybody will point out that the Garden State gets much of its energy from Pennsylvania. So going back and forth, I want to actually bring up, this was a different article because, yes, they're horrible there.
I can speak for a second while you're looking up what you got to look up.
Yeah.
Because I'm paying my electric bill. And I know you guys are too. And our electricity usage has
Gone down
dropped.
for the same
and
time
our
last year.
price has like, I don't even know, it's gone up like by $150, gone up by $150
Yeah,
a month.
even though our electricity use is down. This is the one I wanted to bring. The mainstream media is finally understanding the power bill crisis, now a major political issue. There were 2 electricity articles on Zero Hedge this week. Bloomberg has finally woken up to the power bill crisis erupting across the mid-Atlantic. Years of reckless energy policies, such as shuttering reliable fossil fuel power plants in favor of unreliable solar and wind, are colliding. I think it's just inflation, really, guys. Head on with the unprecedented electricity demand from AI data centers. That is also true. They're using the water. They're using electricity. This AI has got to stop. We were fine before AI. I have not, there's not anything in AI that has helped me. I hate it. It needs to go the way of something. I would say sliced bread, but I'll still use white sliced bread. You shouldn't. Let's get good bread going. The result is a toxic affordability crisis for households, and it is fast becoming a major flashpoint in the upcoming election cycle. Somebody posted in the Next Door Neighbor, I don't know if you guys have that around the country, but we have it here. It's like a little Facebook for your neighborhood. He's like, am I reading my bill right? I was charged $50 total for using 50 cents of gas.
Oh, wow.
So we have so many
the rider fees.
Rider fees on natural gas. Because natural gas is cheaper than electricity. I remember them telling me, you know, they'll say, if you're not going to use the gas for like a heater, turn it off in the summer. And it was like $30.
Yeah.
Now it's $50. Just for the privilege of having it come to your home. Okay? That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, that's insane. America, it's just $50 just for the privilege of having it come to your house.
Yeah.
That ought not be. That should be illegal.
It should be.
That should be illegal, right? Americans and their politicians have always been acutely sensitive to the price of gasoline, but there's another cost of living issue that's gaining prominence in the collective political consciousness, what consumers pay to keep the lights on. Electricity prices increased nationally at more, and I just think about this because it's like, what if your whole house is on gas, right? People like go around shutting off all of their things, and you get down to where you only use 50 cents of electricity, and you have $50 going out there. That ought not be.
So Party Bunza says everybody is using less power, but all of our bills keep doubling and tripling.
It's like, oh my gosh, I have all of these energy efficiency appliances, right?
Yeah.
And they're telling you, oh, you're going to save this much a year. You're going to save this much a year. Well, guess what? Energy companies make money on how much energy you use. So they're just raising the price on how much, it costs to get the energy.
So like,
to you.
so you got yourself a brand new washing machine that's going to cost, a third
look,
of what it did to run it.
$50 a year. Just kidding.
Yeah.
We did that with our air conditioner things, right?
Yeah.
So electricity prices have increased nationally at more than twice the rate of overall inflation during the past year. The Trump administration blames renewables. I think it's more than that. And now it looks like in 1 year, this will be the most popular chart out there. The U.S. U.S. CPI electricity going from 2012, it's just skyrocketing, just absolutely skyrocketing.
So somebody is just getting ridiculously rich on this.
Yes.
Probably Saudi Arabia. That's why they can afford to give the United States an airplane.
The power crisis in the mid-Atlantic area first surfaced on our radar after Goldman warned in an August 2024 report. After a series of auction delays and relatively low clears, the PJM capacity prices appear to have finally caught up with the generative AI data center load growth story that has been the central parts of the PJM. And why do Maryland and surrounding states such as New Jersey face soaring power bills that threaten to derail Democrats? Because poor grid management and the reckless pursuit of net zero have transformed grids into a gigantic mess, driving power bills higher. Limited spare capacity in the era of data center expansion pushes grids closer to crisis, if not already there.
Aunt Gail says that it does cost you a monthly fee to not have a smart meter. That is true. Leah looked into it, so we can corroborate that.
It does.
Jim says it costs you more in the long run to have smart meters. Hi, Toby. I'm going to get you a snack in a minute. I hear you.
I think he needs to go outside.
Let's see. I know that there were a couple of other comments I wanted to read, but we need home generators. Well, what we need is a lifestyle that is more in tune with not using as much electricity as we do, but that's not feasible right now. It's very so let's take us for example. When Matt got here in 2012, he brought his wood burning stove, and so we now heat with wood. So we are using way less electricity as far as heating goes.
Our electricity bills are higher,
and our electricity bills are still super high.
Yeah,
and so it's like 10 of one, 20 of another. Steeler says, you are right, Leah. They are taking over Philadelphia right now. I will let him out, Leah. You're in charge.
Okay.
Toby, what's the deal?
Maybe you
dude?
could get a friend to help get him out.
Are the chickens shut up yet?
They are. I think I shut the door even. All right, guys, we are going to go to our Charlie Kirk
when we got
session
to the hospital
of the show here. Now, I have some conspiracy theories for you. And we're just going to pop through these various topics that I promised you guys that I would bring to you this week. Okay? Now, this here is disconcerting to me. House Speaker Mike Johnson held a private meeting with AIPAC and Jewish leaders this Wednesday on Capitol Hill, wherein he reportedly pledged to screen out isolationist, anti-Israel GOP candidates to prevent that wing of the party from growing larger in the House. Representative Tim Walberg from Michigan, who was also part of the meeting, revealed he'd been texting recently with the Anti-Defamation League. Those people hate us. They hate all conservatives. They hate Christians. CEO Jonathan Greenblatt about the proliferation of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories around the killing of Charlie Kirk. Though nearly all the participants remained mum on what went down, Representative David Kustoff tweeted out an image of the room, and you can make out many of the participants. I don't think we need to be sitting down with lobbyists from another country. Are you sitting down with lobbyists from Poland? New Zealand? The Samoas? All right. Megyn Kelly reported that Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk called a friend to pray with them against curses placed on them by witches the night before he was killed. All right. Now, Tucker Carlson spoke at the memorial, and people were saying that his comments were anti-Semitic because he mentioned hummus. So Tucker says about this, I'm really sorry about all this. All I can say is that it wasn't my intention to say anything about Jews, and certainly not to imply they killed Charlie, which I don't think. I thought I was giving the most unifying, non-controversial speech ever. What I described is the essential story of Christianity, and it's so familiar to Christians that it never occurred to me that anyone would be offended. I had no clue until people started sending me Twitter links from the accounts that they are mad about my speech and my position on Bibi and Iran. Every page in the New Testament was written by Jews, most of it by a former Pharisee. So from a Christian perspective, the claim that the gospel is anti-Semitic doesn't make any sense. I do think that on some level, Zionists and anti-Semites look at the world through the same lens. They both assume that everything is about the Jews. I don't assume that. I just wanted to talk about Jesus, and I'm sad that got obscured and turned into another battle in our propaganda wars. I've been involved in too many already. It also makes me sad that a lot of people know so little about Christianity that they have come to conclusion like this. That is why my tweet about Jewish, that Gentiles don't need to, the Jewish dietary laws got flagged as hate speech. I'm going to tell you. And not everything is about you. All right. So the North Carolina House of Representatives has just passed Irina's law, which ends cashless bail for violent criminals. That's how she was killed, by this guy out on cashless bail. And you will not be forgotten, Irina. She was stabbed in the neck, and Charlie was too, all within a week. All right. There was another shooting this week. This is a little update here. Joshua Yan's brother has revealed some information about the Dallas ICE shooter. He was a registered independent in the 2024 election, but last voted in the Democratic, I guess, as a Democrat. He was unemployed, but had previously worked as a coder. He was planning on moving in with their parents in Oklahoma. Yan has been pictured in a mugshot from his arrest in 2015 when he was hit with felony charges for delivering marijuana in greater than a quarter of an ounce. This is his brother. So there was a shooting in front of an ICE facility. I just wanted to, I'm trying to keep track of everything. All right, this woman thinks that they are using Kirk's assassination and Jimmy Kimmel. So if you don't know, Jimmy Kimmel was supposedly canceled for how he handled the, how he talked about Charlie Kirk. I think that Jimmy Kimmel should be canceled because of his, in the past, he did these guy videos, man videos, and they were so perverse. He was grabbing women's butts, showing all kinds of perverted things, women jumping on trampolines. He's just like the most god-awful pervert. He should be canceled. But the left brought him back, and that was a really big thing. This woman thinks that Kirk's assassination, Jimmy Kimmel are distract us from a surveillance takeover.
So while everyone is currently being distracted by the Charlie Kirk assassination and Jimmy Kimmel, Larry Ellison last week acquired TikTok. He also is the largest investor in Twitter for $100 billion. And his son, David, owns Paramount Pictures. So what is going on here? Why are we being distracted while Larry Ellison, who is basically the CIA, is taking over our entire surveillance grid? Larry also is building a $500 billion with a B dollar data center here in Abilene, Texas.
So I don't think that Charlie Kirk's assassination can be considered a distraction, but I would definitely go with the
There's a
Jimmy
lot
Kimmel
of
thing.
conspiracy theories around going Charlie Kirk's murder. So I don't know if it's a distraction or not. I think that a lot of it is a little crazy. Michelle, let's go to this video. Some people. So I know that there are a lot of theories on the shooting. I know that none of us are. Some of you may be convinced on your theory. There is not a definitive proof on how exactly Charlie got shot. We know what they told us. They told us it was a 30-06. We know that that's nearly impossible to have been a 30-06.
This is a 30-06.
Unless there were some theories about it that it deflected off of a plate.
Leah, there is
Michelle?
no way this is lodged in Charlie Kirk's body and did not come out the other side.
There's a lot of stuff going on in this questioning. Yeah, so this guy has some questions here.
In America over the last 10 years.
Warning, if we have to even do this, you're about to see some graphic.
I don't think there's
things.
graphics.
You're going to see him be shot. Okay, that
Yes,
may some people might find what
we're
going to play
not playing
disturbing.
the blood part.
We're not counting gang violence. Great.
This is to just kind of show the up close and personal.
Counting or not counting gang violence. Great.
So something.
I don't know why it's stopping here. I'm not stopping it.
Something is
In America over the last 10 years. Counting or not counting gang violence.
I don't need this.
In America over the last 10 years. Counting or not counting gang violence.
his shirt pops in several different directions. Before you see a bullet that would, he's going like this. So something is more like here going on than in the neck.
Counting or not counting gang violence. Great.
So I don't, this here, you wouldn't, if you're shot in the neck, you wouldn't go like this. His shirt is going up before it seems like the bullet, but maybe the bullet, I don't know, but the shirt is going up and
we don't have the time to, you guys have all watched them. I hope you have. If you have not, I'm going to give you my brief summary. I'm going to do that by showcasing something that I don't really showcase very much. And maybe sometimes you guys see me fiddling with stuff because I wear these earpieces, and I've seen a video that has been done on this. One of the most annoying parts about these earpieces is that there's always, I'm going to pull out where I keep it. I'm not going to tell you, I usually either keep it, I have a hair clip right here so that if my hair is up, it is clipped behind, the slack is clipped. Otherwise it's pulling on your ears and it's super annoying. So it's either clipped in the back of my hair or it is shoved underneath of my bra strap right here. Okay. Charlie would not have a bra strap. I saw a guy, and so it's underneath, it's on my side here. I'm going to show you. All right, this is how I do this. There is a video of a guy that showcased the way that he does it as a man, and he believes that Charlie does this exact same thing, so that the earpiece cord goes kind of around, and then like I guess I could unplug it here. Goes around and through. Like this, down through the shirt to the mic that is right here. Okay, so imagine this is in the front and it's holding the slack and he has it clipped to that lapel mic that is in his shirt. So the way that it was explained to me in the video that I watched is that it's if he is getting shot in this region, which is what my theory, and it is just a theory, is that Charlie was shot from the side and it came out the neck. This is an exit wound. This is, in my opinion, I'm not a professional. It's just my theory from the videos that I watched, that essentially this underneath of the shirt, I can't explain to you just how much. Lee and I will like, Lee goes to walk away and it just pulls everything.
Yeah.
It's super, super annoying. So it's great that we have these things. They're very handy, and Charlie would have needed to have an
very
earpiece.
split second, something his earpiece is being pulled that does not correspond with a shot to the neck.
Right, exactly. So I don't know exactly what is going on. I know that I don't trust that something this size, roughly, give or take, this is a pen for the podcast listeners, is
That's not what they said.
No.
That's not what they said. They said it went down. It went down. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to play you to
whatever.
You what they're
I'm
saying.
just saying that I don't think that it's in his body, but that's my opinion.
So this is the Alex Jones supposedly got more detail. Nobody's believing this, but this is their official narrative as of right now.
I got a call last night from Jack Posobiec, and he says, yeah, we see your viral post from an hour ago where you're quoting the TPUSA spokesperson, who, by the way, is a big fan of yours. You know, you've met him, you've hung out with him, had dinner with him, Andrew Colvin, where he's quoting the surgeon that attended to Charlie when he was brought in.
I can't hear
And he didn't want to give the details out, so I understand how it looks a little weird. The bullet didn't go through. You need to call him. So I call him, and he goes, listen, I don't want to give the details out. I said, well, I can't help it if I'm explaining. He goes, okay, fine, but it's really gruesome. And he said that, again, he's being shot from down an angle. It hits the spine and then bounces down, which is what it's going down, and then it deflects with velocity, goes back into the spine, blows out 6 vertebrae. The bullet then shatters. That's what they do. I've shot wild hog straight on. This has happened, and deer, and then exploded into the heart, and fragments shot up. So he oversimplified when he said, oh, then they found the bullet up in the shoulder by the neck. No, it was fragments. And I'm sitting there listening to this in the car, and I'm like, yeah, I've usually I shoot a deer or hog, in the shoulder. If you got a clear shot, but in the woods, you don't get a front shot. I do it. You hit him in the front. I mean, it'll go in, back out the side, out the front. I mean, it does wild stuff. So I'm not, saying this is absolutely the perfect answer to all of this, but I talked to FBI ballistics experts. They said yes, and I've seen it myself. So that made a lot more sense. So it didn't go through because, oh, yeah, think about it. It's coming down at a major angle, then hits the bone and ricochets down. And I've seen that happen many times where you go into the front of a mammal, and that's what he was, a great man, and then it bounces around. And when I first saw...
We're not screen sharing. Sorry, guys. You heard it, but you didn't see it.
The report, because he was explaining what the surgeon said without giving me all the details, I said, that makes no sense. But I've actually shot hogs. Well, in one case, gosh, I've shot a lot of them. They're feral, they want you to get rid of them, and they eat the baby deer and just destroy everything. I probably shot 90 or more. I was trying to think about it. Wild hogs. I've shot little ones, big ones. Biggest I ever shot was like 400 pounds. Shot it at about 300 yards or so, straight on, because it came out of the woods, was turned. I was about to go back in. I wanted a side shot. I just shot it, trying to shoot it right in the face. Said it went right under the neck. And that was a 300 Win Mag, very similar to a 30-06, a little more powerful, but basically the same. And it went in, so we butchered it later, about 2 feet. So the lower intestine, well, hit some ribs, broke to pieces, but a bunch of it bounced back up into the shoulder. So people are like, what do you mean magic bullet? Well, magic bullet is because they shot Kenny with more than one bullet. They're saying magic bullet here because people are saying it went in the throat and didn't go out the back. Of course, a 30-06 would do that. But if it's coming down like this and then it glances on a bone, then it ricochets down. That's exactly what they do. That's why you can also, because hogs have thicker skulls, they don't have a deer. You can shoot a hog in the head. That's why you want to shoot the shoulder instead. And if it hits a little bit of an angle, the skull will deflect it up, and you'll see a bunch of skin blow off the hog's head. But it lives because you didn't get it straight on. So I'm not endorsing that. I'm not saying we should investigate it, any of that. I'm saying a lot of ballistic experts are explaining that. And when I got the full download of what the surgeon said, and a spokesman was saying, a good friend of his saying, please don't give all the details, but he gave them to me, and it was. I said, I'm not going to be able to do this. I said, I didn't record this. I didn't write it all down. I was driving, but I said, there's no way. I can't explain it. So he's explaining the different T levels. He'd written it down. What the surgeon told him. It comes down like this at an angle, hits the bone at a glancing, bounces down, runs in. That's the left side. To the heart's at, centered over to the left. Goes all the way down. It hits bones. Fragments blast out the heart, and then fragments, perfect, boom, shattered up into the shoulder. So it was an oversimplification by the TPUSA person that they found the bullet out of the skin up in the shoulder by the neck. No, it was a bunch of fragments. So that's why you see his hands go, because the spine's gone at that point, because it went down the spine, into the spine, took out a bunch of the vertebra, and then by then the bullet was so mushroomed, once it mushroomed to a certain point, then fragments blast out the heart, the lungs. They said you're getting the first looks, by the way, at this. He told me way more than he wrote in the description. He said, look, I'm sorry, I'm not a surgeon in a corner. That's what they told me. And once I heard it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I've seen that.
No.
I've seen that. Once
Sorry. I don't need to do it anymore. Sorry.
These in first.
Okay, so but now I want to play for you before we talk about it. And Toby, you're going to need to go upstairs. I want to play for you.
Yes, sir. Come here.
Why this doesn't make sense.
Besides the fact that the pound forceage, I just made that word up, forceage, the force of that impact hitting his body and doing all of that would have blown his body backwards.
So this is one of the guys who was with him. He says that miraculously they were able to get a pulse. Now, both cannot be true. That it obliterated his heart and they got a pulse. So tell us which one is true.
Now, it is true. When we got to the hospital and they started working on him right away, they did get a pulse back. And now it is true. When we got to the hospital and they started working on him right away, they did get a pulse back.
You can't have gotten a pulse back if his heart was obliterated. So you guys don't get to go out there and say, in all the conspiracy theory world, that we're being crazy because we're questioning the official narrative. Now, this guy says it's not coming down at a major angle. It's less of an angle than you think for one of your hog hunts.
You know how many people hunt out there and know exactly what a 30-06 round does to an elk skeleton or bone? We're not dumb. This ain't going to work. This man of steel, his bone density, let's talk about this, okay? Let's talk about some things a 30-06 can do. From out to about 400 to 500 yards, a 30-06 can penetrate elk bone. Why is that significant? Elk bone is significantly more dense and strong than human bone. Why? Because elk get up to almost 1,000 pounds. And so the bone has to be extremely dense to carry that much weight. Now, let's compare it to human, okay? Well, for one, let's talk about where Charlie got shot. He got shot here in the carotid. If that did hit a vertebrae in his neck, let's understand that neck vertebrae is some of the most fragile bone in the human body because it's so flexible to handle what we do with our neck. So what they're telling you is a 30-06 round, which can blow through elk bone, was stopped by Charlie Kirk's neck and a vertebrae. If you believe that, God bless your little heart. Now let's look at this actual ballistics test. All right, so we're going to watch a video from US Overwatch. He just put out this a day ago. Very good video. Let's check it out. I'll put his link in the pinned comment and description if you want to watch the whole video.
So our first shot will be a cold bore shot, and we will just see what kind of results we are able to duplicate.
All right, so he's got some very thick bone here across the strap of this dummy. Obviously, this would be far thicker and stronger than a human vertebrae in the neck. Let's see what this 30-06 rounds does to it. Wow. All right, from this angle, as you can see here. Huh. Not only does it go through that bone, it explodes the bone, blows through the dummy. Also, as we'll see here in a second, blows through the wall behind it.
Like we did kind of also think, the bone stood no chance against a 30 caliber round traveling at that high of a velocity. So now we're going to give it reset it back up and put the ballistic plate in front of it and see if we can't duplicate that shot as well.
Right now, he actually shoots a ballistic plate with 30-06 round. Destroys the plate. Second that he's there, just rip the entire half of that plate off. So there you go, guys. You just saw, I mean, right there for you, 30-06 round. Damage it's going to do. Went through way bigger bone than a vertebrae, through the dummy, through the wall.
You can pause that. So here's the thing. Matt has a 30-06. And we went shooting at a friend's house against a hill and into a hillside, which is always where, you know, a good place to go. And we shot a lot of different rounds. And we got the 30-06 out. And basically I said to everybody, I don't want to shoot that one again.
It's such a big boom.
I don't want to. I don't want to see it.
The damage,
just the damage. Like, it was terrifying. It literally was like a bomb went off. It wasn't funny to me. You know, a lot of guys get big on giant things. Honestly, it scared me. And the reason being is because we were shooting an old weapon from World War II. And I was like, all I could think of is like all these blown up people and blown up body parts that no one could survive a shot like that.
Yeah.
And I don't care where he was shot. I don't care what magic bullet deal you have going on. He either was not shot with the 30-06 or something else is going on here, because the 30-06 would blow you up. I don't care, you know, and obviously we don't have any video of human beings getting shot with 30-06. So all we have is like these dummies and the plates. So they're not telling us the truth, and that is not okay. All right.
So I really want to pull up Corey's video on this, whichever one that he had, only because I don't mind giving you guys all the conspiracy theories.
Well,
that's
I was
what I put.
trying to make it a shorter show, but that's okay.
Well, I can't even find the video.
Okay.
But Corey Gray had shared with me.
It's going to be on his Twitter. I can find
well,
it.
I can't find it on his Facebook. I'm not going to.
Oh, it's not on his.
This idea, it's an idea that
there's a guy.
To the side of him. That's why I believe he was shot in the side of the head, and that this is an exit wound. When you see all that blood spill out, that is not an entrance wound. I mean, I get that it's the jugular. Don't get me wrong. I get it. You hit a jugular. We kill animals all the time. The jugular, just boom, it can squirt. It can. But the size of that, the wound is so huge. Most of the time, and almost always, an entrance wound is much, much smaller, and an exit wound is gigantic. And the way that it looks like, so you see this guy off to the side, and you see he grabs a cell phone. He has a cell phone. Then he pulls his hands up, and he holds his hands in a very uncomfortable, awkward, not normal, but totally normal if you're holding a weapon. Okay. If you were trying to like stealthily like fire one of those tiny little guns, and then you see a puff of smoke. You totally see a puff of smoke in this video. Now, he also shared with me, with us. Okay, this
videos out there,
and we're not screen sharing it. We're just let it play. You guys make up your own mind. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. What I'm saying is, it's very suspicious. That's all. Like it
girl right here, right after the recoil, the smoke. What seems to be like a cloud of smoke, a plume of smoke. To me, this is clear cut, but I'm letting you make your own decision. She moves to the back right, and isn't the shooter that direction? And if you see at the very end, we'll see hands come right here, and there's longer video on my ex, Corey D. Gray 888. Longer videos out there, guys. And you'll see two hands pull her backwards, almost as if away from a muzzle flash. Right here. Watch the guy in white.
Now, when he says the guy, I want to pause this real quick. When he says the guy in white, he's not talking about the guy in the baseball cap. That, you know, we all did the conspiracy theory, like he was making hand signals. He's actually part of Charlie's team. That guy has been ruled out. Okay, the guy in the white t-shirt directly behind Charlie's head. Next to the girl in the white and next to the guy in the black.
There's blood in this one, so Corey doesn't, just FYI.
So lifts his hands.
Leah, I'm so
and did you
sorry.
See the
like
cloud of smoke?
His hands
see
go
the
up, and you
trajectory?
see smoke, like you were firing
Watch
a
the
weapon.
trajectory.
Watch his hands.
And weren't they cleaning a window on the other side?
That?
Fixing a window over there?
It feels like it, to me, I don't
But
see
what
it,
is the puff of smoke? I want to
Watch
know what
the plume of smoke.
Corey's going to slow it down here. He's got something in his hands. It's blurry.
See if you can see the hands pull her away.
The hands
It
pull back.
feels
Wait.
like after
the
it gets
smoke.
shot.
Oh, that's in the longer video.
They're pulling back
He's
in a
been
recoil.
shot.
I know,
Yeah,
a recoil.
Corey,
I think they're pulling back because he's a
Wait.
Oh, wait. There's
Wait.
the hands. Look, see the hands?
Wait.
See?
That's a puff
See in
of
which
smoke.
direction they're pulling? Why would you pull that way? The shooter was behind them, right? So things to think about. Share this out because I think this guy needs to be questioned right there in the white shirt.
Yeah.
I know you guys can triangulate with Bluetooth Low Energy. You have 100 different ways. GPS.
I don't want to see him.
So why is that guy
I'm
not
not watching
investigated?
Charlie. I'm watching the guy.
What about the 5G
you
triangulation? That's what warrants are for. That looks like a cloud of smoke. You guys got to do your job.
1000% looks. I'm going to play the
But I just feel like a shooter wouldn't look like he's recoiling from like scared.
No, he's not recoiling like he's scared.
He
It's
looks
like
he's
he looks like
scared.
he's recoiling. Watch it fast. Whoa. I'm so sorry. Like that to me,
Really?
I
He
am
looks
landing
scared to
in
me.
Corey land.
Okay, it looks scary. It doesn't look professional enough. Doesn't look.
If it was those tiny little guns, which neither of us have ever shot
it
before.
like, how would you be like, ooh? It just doesn't
There-
look
but
like
what is
anybody.
the puff of smoke?
It just doesn't look like somebody, a professional hitman.
If it's a tiny little gun, you know what I mean? So I don't know. You guys can go and watch that on Corey D. Gray, GRAY 888 on his Twitter. You can watch it the 20 times that I did. I was not watching Charlie Kirk while that. I'm only watching that isolated spot. I have watched it so many times, and I'm like, what in the world is that? What did I just see?
Okay, so in the sake of time, I was going to play a bunch of Charlie Kirk clips, and I really do want to play them. However, we're going to stay in conspiracy land.
Now we're going to talk about his wife.
For the foreseeable future here. And
that nothing is by mistake.
This is a interesting dress. I actually like the dress, but it's very odd. So she tells a story on how she stalked him. And just play this video. Before she met him.
Mistake.
Wait, start over.
Nothing's by mistake. Let me know if I need to turn this down. I'm happy to adjust the audio.
But just know that nothing is by mistake. Nothing. I will never forget the time I was in Israel with my husband. Well, that was the second time, but the first time with my mother on a pilgrimage.
By the way, there are a lot of mistakes.
And I was standing in the ticket line.
In this world.
And I remember looking behind me, and in the snake of the ticket line was a guy who looked very familiar. I had no idea who he was. And I told my mom, this guy looks so familiar. And as a typical mother, she said, go and say hi. No. We were late for our flight, and I'm not going to come off like a crazy person.
Mom, I know that guy. He's just kind of familiar. Go and say hi. No, you'd only say that if you kind of knew who he was, right?
But that's just weird. That ended up being Charlie.
Oh, wow. How
Nothing is by coincidence. Now, did we know that no, not until we were like 3 months into our relationship and looking at timestamps, seeing that both of us were in Israel at the same time. But nothing is by coincidence.
Why do you keep saying that?
When God is within you. Okay? So you guys go blaze a trail, okay? God bless you all.
Can you keep playing this?
Yeah.
My husband, Charlie, he wanted to save young men, just like the one who took his life. That young man. On the cross, our Savior said, Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. That man, that young man, I forgive him.
All of these are a little bit weird. I don't know if was this video in there?
Was in it.
She whispers kind of weird.
No, well,
Okay.
just the guy that the forgiving of
No,
the guy.
There's the next.
Can we close this one?
Yeah.
Even the doctor told me it was something so instant that even if Charlie had been shot in the operating room itself, nothing could have been done. There was no pain, there was no fear, no agony. One moment Charlie was doing what he loved, arguing and debating on campus, fighting for the gospel and truth.
So I don't know. Some people are sharing this. I'm going to give you my thoughts in a minute. This one's the weirdest one for me. Like Trump's face is weird. It just feels weird.
I don't. We can all read the thoughts going through his mind, right? Like, it's not just me. Ugh. That definitely was like.
Okay, you can stop that. I just feel like it was weird. I just was uncomfortable by this. I'm uncomfortable by the whole thing. And then here's where the rabbit trail goes even farther, because she was in 2012. She was a Trump contestant. All these things are very strange. Charlie Kirk's father designed Trump Tower, and she was a Miss America Trump girl in 2012.
2012 wins Miss Arizona, competes in Miss USA, a pageant owned by ... Trump. Okay, want to know something really weird? So she had said in a podcast that she had never competed in pageants and had never done any modeling before, until one day she received an invitation in the mail to become a model and start doing pageants. And the pageants that she started doing were Miss USA pageants owned by Trump. So she modeled for Trump. She was one of Trump's pageant girls. But did you know that she was also a casting director at the same time that she was doing all of this stuff for Trump? Now, she doesn't specify on her website if she worked as a casting director for Trump, but around the time that she was claiming to be a casting director, she also owned a ministry that was working with the U.S. military in Romania. The area in Romania where she was operating this ministry had a bunch of locals accusing these evangelical ministries of kidnapping children and trafficking them out of the country. These children were being found in the UK, in Israel, and were also being sent to undisclosed private islands. Locals demanded authorities look into it, but they never did. Now, Charlie Kirk really wanted the Epstein files released, but did his wife? Prior to marrying Charlie Kirk, she was a multi-millionaire on her own, and since his passing, she's also amassed all of his wealth, plus an additional at least $5 million in donations. She's currently considered the most powerful woman in the United States, with mega fans begging her to run as vice president in 2028. Let's talk about their first date, because it was actually a job interview. Back in 2018, 2 years after Donald Trump had started working with Charlie Kirk had hosted a Turning Point USA opening event for one of the offices that they had opened. And Erica and Charlie Kirk were introduced to each other. Charlie Kirk instantly thought that she was beautiful, but thought that she was really smart. And allegedly, one of their mutuals had suggested that Charlie Kirk hire Erica. I'm assuming it was Donald Trump or someone on his team, because Donald Trump had signed on to work with Charlie Kirk, and Erica was already one of Donald Trump's employees. So it would make the most sense for Donald Trump and his team to encourage Charlie Kirk to hire Donald Trump's employees. Anyways, Charlie Kirk DM'd Erica, invited her for a job interview. The job interview ended up turning into a date, and Erica allegedly had said, "You're not going to be my boss, you're going to be my boyfriend." It just seems suspicious.
So basically, he said, I already have enough friends. If we're gonna go move forward, I'm just gonna date you. It's very awkward and weird. Charlie was, I think 23 or 24 at the time, and she was 29. People keep saying she's 5 years older. She's 37 now, and he's 31. So she's 6 years older than him. She was a full-fledged businesswoman in New York City. Who can start a business, a sweatshirt business in New York City? It feels a little bit like like a money laundering thing. I know, but like sweatshirts, you're going to make it in New York City selling sweatshirts and you're giving one to the homeless and you're selling them. Something doesn't add up. That charity that she supposedly started in conjunction with the U.S. military in a small town in Romania got started when she was 21 years old. I want to know how many 21-year-olds have connections with the U.S. military to start a charity for children at 21 years old. I even tried to groke it like, is this a little bit odd? Maybe just she was a great entrepreneur at 21 years old. Her mom has connections. Her mom moved to Arizona because her mom has connections with the Department of Defense. Her mom works for the DOD. Okay? I feel like I'm just going to throw this out there, and I do not think that this sullies Charlie Kirk's name at all. My running theory, based on her reactions, based on her, Mr. President, it's so weird. It's uncomfortable. I would never act that way around a man, period. She is too familiar with him, okay? Mr. President. And you know what? She supposedly is more conservative than Charlie Kirk. That cannot be. Because listen, if you are truly pro-life, you're going to be looking that president in your eyes and saying the greatest sin committed in this nation right now is the murder of unborn children in the womb. And Laura Trump, you and your minions changed the wording so that we are no longer a pro-life party. I can't be a Republican anymore because all it says is we're going to be pro-life up until after 6 months. Late term abortions. And you know what else they got rid of? Miss Based super conservative is the wording that says marriage is between a man and a woman. Where are your words on that? And she's literally sitting in Charlie Kirk's chair, taking over everything like nothing happened. And Michelle and I were talking about this. We took care of our grandma for 4 years. I was not close to her. She was not very loving and kind to me. But when she died, I was a wreck. Now, people saying, but it's just Christianity and you can have I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. I'm not going to say I'm more of anything than anybody else. I know I was a wreck because a parrot died in my house, okay? A parrot died. My dog killed a parrot. The owner thinks that Lucky just flew into a wall and died. No, I'm pretty sure my dog killed a parrot.
The owner does not think that because we said that. The owner is trying to make us
feel better and make herself feel better, okay? I was a wreck, and I was a wreck for days, like inconsolable, okay? Your body goes through something when somebody close to you dies. I don't want, and I've been trying to say this to Michelle. Michelle's been saying it. And I don't want to belittle anybody else's mourning. Okay? But she's smiling too much. She's laughing too much. She's laughing and all, and it's too scripted. Even her speech, her touching Charlie's hand, it's all so scripted.
So allow me, if I may. I want to say so Charlie was shot on Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then Friday is the day that we did our tribute to Charlie. Mm-hmm. That is the day that she gave her speech from Charlie's office. I ardently, you guys will remember this, defended her. And I defended her awkwardness because I wanted to believe that Charlie would have picked one of the best because he's one of the best and his standards are super high. How do I say this? So since then, there have been things that have come out that I have seen, that I have watched, the interactions with her and Charlie that seem very contrived even throughout their relationship. Her, okay, it's fine to use your feminine wiles. Okay, like that's cool, whatever. But the way that she uses them when they are engaged on podcasts And I don't know if you guys have seen the clip where she's just like, I can't even, you're so handsome. I can't even think straight.
I can't think. And he's trying to be professional.
Right.
And he's trying to be like, honey, I want to introduce you to the people. And she's like, but I just can't.
So
because I have to look at you, Charlie.
So there can be truth in it. There can be truth in it. At best, it's ridiculously immature.
Exactly.
At worst, it's manipulation. And in somewhere in the middle, it could just be both. Okay.
I think it's
a mix of both.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at this situation, and Leah, I don't know how much.
6 years older than him.
Well, you just hit it. I don't know how much you want.
No.
I want to say this. I'm going to say this. I am here to tell you guys that at that age of 29 and 23, I don't care who you are, you're wrong. I mean this dead serious. I'm saying it because I know. The age difference and the mental difference between a 29-year-old woman and even the most intelligent 23-year-old young man is if she's as smart and intelligent as Charlie saw her as she claims that she is, then you don't get to say that Charlie was just mature for his age, because now she's mature for her age. And so that at that age, that is a very specific age in your 20s where a woman is a woman is a woman. A grown woman who would look down upon and pat on the head a 23-year-old young man. Full stop. I know it like I know my name, and we're not going to talk about how I know it. Okay? Because Leah doesn't want me to get into that. I don't have a problem, but Leah doesn't. I'm telling you something here, people. The story that is being told doesn't sit right with my stomach because of my own personal experiences, and it makes me want to vomit. So as the weeks have progressed, and Lee and I have been having private conversations that we have not brought to you guys, mostly because we've been busy, but also because it just hasn't been the right time. I keep telling Leah, and I will say this publicly, I don't have any problem telling you guys this. This is my opinion. You may take it as a grain of salt, okay? I believe truly that whether it was by nefarious means and she was pushed into it by someone that was contriving, or it was her own wanting, I believe, because she has a political science degree, that she is incredibly accomplished, that she did have a desire, even, and it may have been influenced from the outside. It may just have been her own. I believe that she was seeking after a relationship with Charlie. I believe that she did want to marry Charlie. I believe that she sought after pursuing Charlie. Now, one can say, what's wrong with that? I actually don't really have a problem with that. If you see somebody and you have the ability and you want to pursue that person and it's all on the up and up and whatever, and you seek and you pursue them, okay, fine. But what I am seeing and what my spirit is telling me is that there are motives behind what she did that strike me of a Scott Kesterson, that feel beyond just, I see something that I really would like to have. I really would like to marry this person. I really would like to be the wife of this person. I would like to be the mother of this person's, children, and seems more surface. And so beyond that, it has caused me to question whether there were not outside influences telling her to pursue this very, very, very young man. Okay? Because the hurdle that you have to jump from 29 to 23 as an accomplished multimillionaire female who has done all of these things and had all these lived experiences, and you are, you're running a nonprofit, you're doing all these things, to look at little Charlie at that time, even as mature as he was, and to see him as a possibility to marry, and to not ever one time address that I have heard, and I could be wrong, I had a lot of misgivings because he was so much younger than me. I didn't, when he posed this is what I would want to have heard, honestly. When he posed the idea that he would, we might date each other, I had a lot of misgivings because I viewed him as a young man. Though that would be my first honest, not she's walking home and her mom calls her and she's like, I think I got a boyfriend. Like,
she didn't need the job at Turning Point USA. What were they going to pay her? $56,000 a year? She's making hundreds of thousands of dollars,
millions.
So what is she? She didn't want this job. She wanted Charlie.
She even admitted that she didn't need the job. So what? So I'm just saying again, this is conspiracy theory land. But again, we wouldn't be honest if we weren't like giving you guys our honest opinions.
Kelly was saying like, she got caught flat-footed calling him a little nerdy. But back in 2023, he had, scruffy hair. I'm going to tell you, they fixed his teeth. He had like those really high gums. Not a thing. Don't look of that. But she fixed it.
She did.
After she met him.
Oh yeah.
She fixed it. She gave him the haircut. She fixed his teeth. She did all the things to make him look better.
Yeah, and more mature.
And in the video where she's all giggly and you're so handsome, his teeth weren't fixed yet, and his hair wasn't. He didn't have a good haircut yet.
Right.
She's still reeling him in, and she reeled him in. Now, women reel men in.
They do.
So I'm not gonna fault her for that. But the fact that her mom worked for the DoD, Department of Defense, the fact that somehow at 21 she's able to work with the U.S. military and help an orphanage in Romania, that she's somehow Miss America.
Well, Miss
Arizona, and just comes up and it's just too many little
and
things.
She's been on a lot of television programs. Somebody even put in the chat where she was in a music video.
She was on a dating thing show. So, she's always trying to get herself out there. She's like she's a celebrity hungry person.
Yeah.
She needs the fame. She needs the spotlight. And what better way to have a spotlight than now, if all of that is just coincidence, okay. But it doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with me that she's sitting in that chair laughing and doing it like he's not been dead for like 2 weeks. Like, go be with your kids, hold them. Like
no one.
Wait
Here's the thing.
a minute,
Everybody
come back in like 6 months or a year, and then but like
everybody is applauding her strength right now because TPUSA needs. You got this momentum and you need to run with it. Like, I am here to tell you, and I think I speak for most women in this chat. If my husband has been brutally murdered, and you can say miracles happen because they do, okay? Even if you are pulling yourself up by your bootstraps to move on, it's going to, like, I'm talking snot crying that's going to happen. Like, anytime you go to talk about, like, shudders. So again, I don't want to sit here and break down like judging. I didn't want to do that. That's why I defended her in the beginning, because I don't want to judge the way that like people have different reactions. People mourn differently. And so I don't think that it's really fair to break down someone's mourning process. So I just want to put that out there. The problem is that when I'm looking at all of these past videos of her as a human being, there are tons of red flags that I'm just going, this.
I don't see her as a Lila Rose or an Abby Johnson or any of these Liz Wheelers. I don't see her like it. Just everything seems to be about Charlie. Now that's what I've seen. Maybe she has some good advice and some good insight, and I haven't seen it in the past, but I haven't. And she's picking up the machine. She was asked, how much do you know about the day-to-day runnings of TPSA? And
she said everything.
Everything. I know everything. I can run it. I can do the thing. And I look at Charlie and how he was like, women should be stay-at-home moms. They need to take care of their kids. And she's spending an awful lot of time away from these kids who just lost their dad. And she has all this money. Wouldn't you just spend some time with your kids and just like heal, go somewhere and just like heal for a little bit?
What do you guys think? I don't want this to just be Leah and Michelle's opinion. These are just conversations that Leah and I have had, and I hate that we have to have them. Like, I want it to be, I would love to be able to just rewind time, but like, here's the thing, rewind it to what? I don't even know, like Jackie Kennedy, like even that, like she's right there on the airplane. I get that she kind of had to be, but still like, I hate that we have to just, dig into this. I don't like it at all. I don't want to have to do this, but I feel like if Leah and I are anything other than upfront and honest with you, then we would be disingenuous. So do we have it figured out? No. Are we calling us, we're calling her out and saying, okay, complete fraud. Don't, trust her. She's a poo-poo face. She works for the CIA. No, we're not saying any of that stuff. I'm just saying some of these things feel so wrong.
So things that I don't like. I don't like this. I don't like Mike Johnson, Trump, JD Vance, Elon Musk, and Palantir. That Palantir is the AI social surveillance company that is run by Peter Thiel, this super weird gay billionaire that funded JD Vance. This just feels like a bad movie, and that these are the villains. I just feel like we're looking at the villains and like, how come in all of this, where are Charlie's parents? Where are Charlie's original friends that he grew up with? So you know what
they say?
Where is his, does he have any siblings? Do we know anything about Charlie's life beyond Turning Point?
Right. No. We do know they say that his parents are ill. That's what they say.
They're ill, like physically, like sick?
Yes, like elderly and ill, which elderly does not apply because Lee and I keep having these conversations about elderly, but like at best they can be like 60, 65 maybe.
So there was a weird handoff here. This was at a different one.
Oh yeah, this was very weird. I've seen this video a few times.
So that was a weird handoff. I don't understand what's happening there. Just gonna play that.
Play it again from the beginning because.
Oh, actually, no, they're gonna make it slower.
Okay.
So he hands
something to him in his hand. It looks like a small bag of drugs.
It does look like cocaine, man.
Which here's the thing: Lee and I now know
that
all of these people in the conservative movement are doing, not all of them, but a lot of them are doing drugs. So that is,
Well, and I do want to leave on some positive notes. Okay.
And also, I want to make something very.
My name is Paige, and this is.
I'm not saying that I believe that she's in on the shooting of him.
Right.
I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
I don't even believe that actually.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that as far as like, because I think that he was his honeypot, her honeypot. Like he was the wagon she was hitching to.
Yeah, she was the honeypot, but he was the.
What I mean is, whatever. He was the thing.
If she was a gold digger, he was.
Thank you. Yeah. He was the pot of gold.
Yeah. So we're gonna put that aside. We're gonna end with some good things. The Black community is listening to him and waking up, and it's a beautiful thing because I do appreciate Charlie, and I believe that he was genuine.
Let me just clarify. Y'all made me obsessed with Charlie Kirk. This came out of the blue for me. I never cared for bro content like that. Nothing against what he said. I was just never interested in clicking his videos to see what he had to say. But y'all made me deep dive and go down this rabbit hole because there was no possible way that y'all seen the same video I saw and half the world rejoiced it. And I'm just sitting here like, there's no way. Immediately, I'm sitting here like, bro, nobody deserved to go out like that in front of all them kids, in front of his family. And y'all rejoiced it. Y'all celebrated it. And y'all ain't even had nothing to do with it. So I said, bro, he must have said something. I'm missing something. I'm seeing creators that used to talk about God and is going to get on here and compromise their belief, religion, faith to celebrate death. We talking about something that's biblical that you should never do. And folks is coming on here doing it. So I said, I got to deep dive into what he said, because is he on the status of Hitler? What am I missing? And somebody said, well, he would have did that for you. Well, I don't care. My morals would never allow me to celebrate death. Doesn't matter who it is. So the fact that you've been compromised, I have to get down to the bottom of it. And not just one person. Too many. So y'all encouraged me to go down this rabbit hole, to figure out what bro has said for this hate to be sparked up or maybe revealed in a lot of people. And I'm almost satisfied because now I started looking into stuff and I'm like, dang, so you felt like this. Your hate and evilness has been revealed within you. But what you said to what he said is cap. That's not even what he said. That's not even in the full context. So now I'm just starting to, oh, that was a lie. Oh, that was a lie. Wow. So, so now I don't know.
So this is really the reality of it, is that most people take talking points. Most people was not
familiar with Charlie Kirk. Most of the people that are complaining about him or had something negative to say or even celebrated his passing, they had no clue what Charlie Kirk actually stood for. If they watched the full context of the videos, I'm pretty sure that they would have a better understanding of where he stood. But they basically trying to paint him to be one of the worst people in history because he was trying to stand up for traditional values, bring back people into God, hold people accountable for what it is that they did to their communities, take people out of the Victim Olympics, and have honest, meaningful debate on student campuses that endeared him to younger people, that brought them back into the Republican fold and got them away from the indoctrination camp that was happening over at the left. And
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's what this was all about. This was an interesting conversation he had with two girls who were born via IVF, and so were their sisters. And I appreciated how he handled this.
This is my twin sister, IVF.
Wow. Okay.
Alex.
Okay.
We have two older sisters that are also IVF.
Okay.
So this is about IVF, of course. So I'm particularly neutral on the topic. I don't want to have like a forced opinion because like my entire family has kind of become a product of IVF.
Are you guys surrogacy too, or just IVF?
Just IVF.
Oh, just IVF.
But I watch your videos, and so I've noticed that in one of your videos, you do mention that you are okay with IVF, but you're morally against it. Is that true?
Yeah, it's a little bit deeper than that, but I have a lot of problems with IVF, albeit while acknowledging the fruit. I'm glad you're both alive.
Thank you.
And so that must be celebrated. So it's I'll explain the difficulty, but please continue.
Okay, my part one of my question is just, as someone who was conceived through IVF, why should I also be morally against it?
Good question. Okay, so as a pro-lifer, first and foremost, we have to have an issue with the discarded fertilized eggs that happened during IVF. That's why you guys are twins. Yep. Is because during your creation process, if I can be provocatively blunt, you lost a lot of your siblings.
Yes.
Right? Am I correct in saying that?
So for our older sisters, they had 6 embryos in their batch. 2 came out, of course, but for us, there were 3, and then 2 came out.
Yeah, and so that's my first problem, is that it definitionally is saying, like, we're going to discard life to get to life.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do agree, but in a certain way... Oh, sorry. So in a certain way, those embryos, say they weren't going to become anyways, but at least we were trying because they were going to be raised in a house where we are pro-life and we really wanted to be able to have kids and cherish that. But by taking that loss, they were able to have at least us out of the 3. At least they could have the 1. So it's kind of, I don't know where I'm going with that.
I understand what you're saying. So there's a pro-life way to do IVF, which is only implant the eggs of which the children that you actually want to raise. And so, by the way, you have a lower likelihood of working because in your case, it would be maybe 2 or 3. For example, the way that the IVF doctor will sell it is like, look, here's 6 embryos. You'll be lucky if 1 or 2 implant to the uterine wall. Let's see what happens. Now, in certain cases, 4 implant to the uterine wall and you get quadruplets, right?
Yeah. Right.
Which is what happens. I find that to be a little bit creepy, to be honest, that a doctor can kind of call shots on what life is going to live and not live, and I find that to be directly contradictory to my pro-life stances. Let me go to my second point, though, which makes it even more difficult. I think it's a human rights violation if there are millions of fertilized eggs just sitting in freezers right now. Those are human lives. If we're pro-life, we believe those are human lives, and they're just kind of in freezers right now, so I have a problem with that. But I don't deny the fruit of how amazing people can be a result of it. Third, though, and I think this is most important, there's a great book called Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, which I encourage everyone to check out. In Brave New World, he hypothesized in the first chapter that there will be a day where human beings can be created without sex. And he talked about, he wrote about in very vivid novel form what is wrong with that. So IVF is actually the 180 opposite of birth control. So birth control is sex without life. IVF is life without sex. So it's the exact opposite. So, and here's my final problem with IVF, and it's actually in a pro-IVF way. The people who do IVF are actually the most pro-life people because they want babies. Exactly. They're the last people that would walk into an abortion clinic.
Exactly.
So further complicating this very big issue. So would I want to make it illegal? No, but I have serious humane issues with that. I also think it's like the further Frankenstein monster kind of like we are going to control nature. Like we're resurrecting old species of dire wolves, like we're doing gene editing of CRISPR. I don't think we should play games with nature as if we are God Almighty. I think that's a terrible idea. I think that's how you get the worst civilizations. So all that to say, the last thing is, second to cancer, the worst thing a human being can suffer with mentally is infertility. It's a proven fact. It creates more depression, more anxiety. So there's no easy answer to that. So my advice to pro-life couples that want to do it, try to push back on the doctor and say, we're going to trust God, and we only want to implant the embryos that we would be comfortable raising. Do not act as if it's like a roulette table. Like, look, we're going to lose some of them, and I know we're not going to raise all those kids. If you fertilize the egg and then it doesn't attach to the wall with the full intent of raising those kids, that's more morally justifiable, other than we're going to throw 6 ones up against the wall and see which ones stick. That one I find to be bordering on eugenics. I know that sounds to be a provocative statement, but it is. Basically, we're going to kill 5 to let 1 live. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And albeit, you guys are going to have a great life because of IVF, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I do have another, just like one more. What would it take for you, you kind of like answered it, but what would it take for you to be like borderline morally okay with IVF?
Yeah,
if we are able to...
I think I've articulated it. It would largely invalidate the IVF. And what I've just articulated would make the IVF outcomes go down dramatically. Because the reason why IVF outcomes are able to be successful is that each round of IVF, if it does not attach to the uterine wall, the doctor says, well, we did 6, let's do 10. And let's do 15. Let's do 25. Now that's extreme, but it does happen, where they want a baby so badly, they're just going to throw everything they possibly can. So what ends up happening is then they give the mom progesterone, which then basically makes the uterine wall, quote unquote, sticky during her time of ovulation, which then can make the baby then attach to the uterine wall. No easy answer. I think, so last final point. Infertility, I think, is a symptom. It is not in itself a sickness. Infertility, I think, is a symptom of terrible diet, of genetic issues that we're not able to necessarily understand. And in my opinion, I think there are toxins that are poisoning us, that are artificially lowering testosterone rates. And young ladies, I'm gonna get so much hate for this. If you never wanna deal with infertility, be very careful taking the pill. The pill has a lot more downsides than they will ever tell you. Be very careful. As a man, I know I'm not allowed to say that, but there's a lot of downsides to the pill. And am I allowed to say it? Thank you.
Yes, you are. Yes,
because
sir.
The pill will dramatically increase your likelihood of going to an IVF industry clinic. Do you want to know the even more sinister take? If I was just caring about profit, I would try to get a bunch of 14-year-old girls on a birth control pill to addict them as an annuity, have them not want to have kids till their 30s, then they're infertile, then they have to come to me and buy IVF services. That's only if you'd want to make a bunch of money, though. Thank you so much for your...
So I have a lot of thoughts on this because I hadn't seen that clip. But Leah, do you want to say yours first?
Yeah, it was just interesting that there was a pro-life family who had already done this, because people, when you want to have kids that bad, you will do everything you can. I do believe that IVF is playing Frankenstein and is borderline on eugenics, and that you are creating a bunch of kids and putting them in the freezer, and that it's wrong. And I do believe that anytime that you have doctors doing the implantation, then it's almost it's a perversion of the sexual act. And I think that there are lines that get crossed in how we do medicine. And I believe that God made it so that a man and a woman have to come together to produce a child. And anytime science gets in the way of that, or stops it, or even actually makes it happen, it feels very much Frankenstein-y and almost like a sexual assault. So I just feel like it's wrong, and not that I don't want those kids to be here, but they're not here the right way. And I think that we're missing the humanity of it behind it.
So I don't think that one can say that you wish that someone wasn't here to say that you think that the way that they got here was not of God.
Like rape or anything.
Exactly.
Incest
or just having sex outside of marriage, or
sure.
all of that. So
Yeah.
like I would be able to say, you know what? Leah was conceived outside of wedlock. That was not God. But praise God that Leah is here. So when it comes to, I agree with this kind of Frankenstein playing of God, and I have to go back to scripture. Because I just said this to some people the other day. The greatest heroines in the Bible are women who had children either when they could not or they were older or whatever. And that's such a beautiful, wonderful miracle. Okay. So when the Bible says that life and death are in the hands of God, it's always spoken of in reference to just death. But I think that you're missing 50% of the statement, that life is in God's hands. And so I agree with Charlie that for most people, infertility is environmental. And
but in the Bible, it's off.
In the Bible, it's not. Okay. Right. But I think for today's day and age, a lot of it is. We have some neighbors who have one of the coolest stories. I hope they don't mind me telling it, but they're anonymous. They couldn't have kids. They're roughly our age, give or take a couple of years. And they couldn't have kids for their whole marriage. In 2021, she got the JAB, the J&J, I think it was. And I don't know the exact dates on this, but within the year, I think, a year and a half or something like that, she actually got pregnant. Now, we do know that from personal experience, being around people that had COVID
and the spike protein,
being around people that had the COVID vaccine, that the spike protein made you to try to literally shed your body of the toxins and all of that would, induce a period. So it's probable, in my humble opinion, I don't know, that it was getting the JAB that actually made it so that her period was,
that she was actually fertile,
more able to be more fertile. Because of that, that's a theory. I don't know. I haven't even talked to them about that, but that's just my theory.
There was a repentance there, because I don't think it was J&J. Might have been just one shot, because she refused the second shot because she was injured with the first
because
shot.
she didn't want to. So to have to do it was because of work that she had to get it. But my point is, they had twins naturally. And they're our age, which is not the youngest age to have children on planet Earth. And so what a miracle. I rejoiced. I think I cried when I found out, like, you had these twins, like, and naturally, and God just gave you these kids. Like, so they had, correct me if I'm wrong on this, they had pretty much given up on having kids, right? Like, that just wasn't even, we're just not meant to have kids. And so there are so many, I know this sounds awful to say, I get the infertility thing probably more than some people, because I'm not married and I do want to have kids, that if you desperately want to have children, there are children. There are children, okay, to have. And I don't believe, God talks about taking in the fatherless and the widow, and I just don't believe that playing God and playing Frankenstein is God's will for you, especially when there are so many kids that need a home.
Right.
So I think that Charlie answered that brilliantly, probably not with the same stance that I would take on it, but I still thought he did great.
Close. Yeah, really great.
It was really, really, really close. So I think that's the end of our program.
Yeah.
It is Friday. We will be back on Sunday. We will talk about Trump's UN speech. That apparently made a big deal and people walked out and whatever. So we'll hit all of that on Sunday. We will be doing Sunday's show probably early. I know that you guys, it takes a lot for you to, stay on. Even Sherry was like, I kept checking and you weren't here. So I didn't think you were doing a show and now I missed the whole show. And I'm so sorry, guys. Our schedule is just crazy. We get here as soon as we can, when we can. I hate the flexibility of our program times, but we try to get there as routinely as we can. But Sunday show, we're going to try to do a little bit early because we have a birthday party to get to. So it'll probably, and I say probably, be around 12:30, 12:45-ish, give or take. At the latest, probably 1 o'clock. And I know normally we're here at 1:30. Last but not least, Leah and I are proud to have been mentioned in the Roy's Report that just came out recently.
Do a story on that like another time.
Right, I know, but I'm just going to end with, I think, one of the songs from them. Coalition Reloaded. You guys are very familiar because we've had Jason Jones on the program.
So I actually had the article up. You can just show them real quick if you want to.
Where's the article? Oh, right here. They are putting out music that is
amazing.
The most powerful music, lyric-wise, and even musically, that I have ever heard in my life. Randall Crawford is just knocking it out of the park with this music. So I don't know if they have a link in here.
There it is,
to the website, but I can't keep up with all of the
I've
songs
listened to so many of them, yeah,
that they're putting out, and all of the music that they're putting out. It's crazy. I know they have these 3 songs. They do have a lot on here that it's just so good. Leah, is there any in this list here that you've been really liking that we can play? I know there's like the Preacher one that's good that we haven't played. You guys have heard me play Sound Mind so many times. I know on their Facebook page is I'm just go to Facebook here. I should be logged into Resistance Chicks. He just actually sent me one of the recent songs that he put out that he said he sent it to Lee and I yesterday. I think he's like, this is not my normal thing, and it's about socialism. So let me see if this is if he's got that posted here.
You have to scroll down.
Okay. I mean, I probably could play any of these, but we're gonna end with at least one of them because it's so good.
And we're going to lift up God. I just lift up Desiree, his wife, who is experiencing sickness, and you bring healing to her body, mind, and spirit. In Jesus' name, amen.
Is this the one? Say it.
I don't know.
I thought it was a socialism one.
I've been listening to a lot of them, but I haven't seen the new ones.
Well, let's just play. We'll just play one, maybe that we haven't heard.
Just play
I don't think I've listened to this one yet.
Swallow words like seeds never sown, left to wither in fields unknown. Watch my father carve dreams in stone, but never told him I found my own. Now I stand where footprints fade, wishing time could be remade. Stories left inside my mind, turn to echoes lost in time. Oh, we wait too long to sing the truth before it's gone. Say it before they're gone. Just say it. Speak to love, bring it to the light, and say it tonight. Tomorrow they might be gone. Mama's hands built bridges wide, spoken prayers with love as guide. Still I walked where tempests roared, only saw the loss when it closed the door. Now I see my own reflection through the lens of misdirection. Past unspoken hearts confined, until we speak, until we shine. Oh, we wait too long to sing the truth before it's gone. Say it before they're gone. Just say it. Say I love you. Ooh, bring it to the light, and say it tonight. Tomorrow they might be gone. I wasn't there when she let go, didn't see the tears that flowed. Thought there'd always be more time to say the words inside my mind. Now I hear her in the silence, in the echoes of my past. Lord, I pray I break the silence, let my love be known as. Say it before they're gone. Just say it. Speak to love, bring it to the light, and say tonight, tomorrow they might be gone.
That's so good.
Say it, just quiet before they're gone. Just say it. Speak to love, ooh, bring it to the light, and say it tonight, tomorrow they might be gone. Whisper winds can't change the past. Let your voice break, make it last. Before the dawn steals away the night, speak the love, bring it to
So like, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm super mad at Randall. I don't know what I'm gonna do because there's no good way. I feel entitled because I know them and they're now my best friends. That's a joke. I want all the songs. Yeah. I just want to be, I will pay you all the money. I will pay you whatever you want per song. I want the whole list. There's like 100 of them. I don't even know how many there are. Okay. It's hard, but you got to go to Facebook. Now they're not putting them all up on YouTube.
They're not. They're just
you got to listen to them on Facebook. So if you want to listen to them,
comes out like 5 a day.
He does. And I can't keep up.
I can't.
But if I had them,
yeah,
I'm like just like a player. I could just play them all day
that
long.
One,
it would be the only music I listen to.
That one is nice to end on because if we had played one of the other ones, it might have been like it might have kept you up for the rest of the night.
No, because usually they're very rock and heavy.
Some of them are very
but the
intense.
The wide range of types of music that he composes.
Got some country songs.
No, it's crazy. I'm not a fan of like screaming, but even his screaming songs are so good. Like I'm like, you're making me like your screaming songs.
I know.
Like I don't even like screaming songs, but like every type of music that he plays.
If you like
I've not listened to a song that I didn't go, wow, I love it.
Yeah, no, and the word, or I would say I didn't listen to a song that I was like those lyrics
lyrically, like it's just so powerful. So Coalition Reloaded, Facebook is the only place that you're going to be able to listen to like all the songs. And good luck trying to keep up with all of the new stuff that he puts out. So we're going to be ending like every show with one of their songs from now on. So remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory, it's actually the truth. We love you. God loves you.
And
God
thank
bless.
you for the new reviews. We've got some new reviews on our website.
Yes, you guys are amazing. Like, shop.resistancechicks.com. When you leave a review, it makes my day. Like it pops up. And
so some of the people that we met this weekend have been leaving reviews, and so it's been fantastic.
Yes. So the tooth powder, the tooth polish, is one that got a review this week or just like the past day or two. I'm trying to see what other ones. Jay says that my daughter's teeth were weakened during a development of prednisone years ago. She's using this polish now and it works great. I love the ingredient list. I hope it will help to remineralize. She loves the mint and how clean her teeth feel. Great product.
Awesome.
On the body butter, this cream is outstanding. All of Resistance Chicks products that I have tried so far are excellent and very well researched. Thank you for another great product.
Awesome.
So that's huge. So thank you guys. If you have purchased from shop.resistancechicks.com, I appreciate you. If you have left a review, I appreciate you even more. Because it means a lot to actually hear how and here's the thing, it doesn't have to be a great review. Even if you have something about it that you don't like, that you would like us to know about, please feel free to tell me.
So
if it doesn't arrive correctly, let me know.
If we have been sent something from our P.O. box, I'm meaning to show it on the show. We'll have to do it on Sunday.
Yes.
I've been meaning to use it. It's probably from Dale Jones. But if you'd like to send us any letters in the mail, we do have a P.O. Box 107, Milford, Ohio 45150. Sherry, I'm so glad you found our show tonight. And
she probably went to bed.
Super late.
She probably went to bed. Okay.
Watch us again. Happy Saturday, Sherry.
Yes, happy Saturday. All right, you guys, be blessed. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you to all the moderators, for everybody that's been praying for us. We so appreciate you. If you missed it, I will upload tomorrow sometime. We got some new baby chicks to go with the ones that we hatched out, and I did a short little video on it. It's on Facebook. You can get a sneak peek if you're over there. If not, you'll have to wait till tomorrow, and I'll put it out there. So, all right, we'll see you guys next time right here from ResistanceChicks.com.